Hello and welcome along to the MODUS Super Series here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. We already know 3 of the players who will be in action on finals night tomorrow. Stu Wilson and Martin Thomas are joining Berry Van Peer. Still 3 more places to be decided though, and by the close of play tonight, the field will be complete. Before we turn our attention to Group B though, let's remind ourselves of how things unfolded in Group C. Here's Henry with the highlights.
Jack Bisson departed with 2 wins from his Group C campaign. The ADT qualifier on his second appearance this week will take plenty of positives from the experience. As for Ryan Harrington, he nailed a big fish and then back-to-back 140s today. He was the king in the finishing. Oh my word. As for Michael Huntley, he finished 4th in the group, picking up 6 points from his campaign. There was a point today when James Hull was topped and it looked like it was going to be a conceivable scenario he was going to go through. However, he finished 3rd, the first time he's failed to make it to the Saturday night finals here at the Super Series. And so it paved the way for Stu Wilson to progress his way through to finals night here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. He finished 2nd on 14 points, a superior leg difference to that of the Hillbilly. But it was Martin Thomas who was the group victor in the end. 16 points to his name, and he is into tomorrow night's finals.
Yeah, Martin Thomas timed his run to the finish line to perfection today, didn't he? 5 out of 5 games won for him on the second day of Group C action. How impressed were you with the displays he put on today?
I was very impressed, but I don't think he was. I spoke to him before he left the building, and he just wasn't happy with his overall performance. But maybe he's saving his best for Saturday.
Yeah, let's remind ourselves then of how the Group C table finished. Martin Thomas, of course, top of the league standing. Stu Wilson also qualifying for finals night. James Hurrell, though, narrowly misses out because of Stu Wilson's superior leg difference. It's the first time that Hillbilly has failed to qualify for finals night. How does he reflect on his campaign?
He'll be disappointed, but he knows that he wasn't 100% this week. He was scrapping pretty much from dart 1 to the very last dart he threw today. And there was a somewhat ironic smile on his face in that last match when he knew that he couldn't qualify after losing the first leg of the contest. So he will be disappointed, but he will be back.
Especially because he knows he is capable of putting in far superior performances to the ones that he did deliver, especially in Group C. Let's have a look at some of the numbers then from this afternoon's session. Of course, that overall average, not really surprising to see it below 83 because it wasn't quite the standard maybe we expected from that Group C campaign. Checkout rate down as well. What catches your eye when you look at that?
I think it's the fact that the numbers are quite low. And when you compare them to Group A and to Group B, maybe the players coming through that group may struggle on Saturday night. They will go under the radar potentially, but when you talk about Martin Thomas and Stu Wilson, they are going to have to lift their performance if they stand a chance of the £5,000.
Absolutely right then. Let's turn our attention to Group B and have a look at that table at the halfway point. We saw such a sublime standard last night, didn't we? Jacob Taylor winning 4 from 4. He has just not deviated away from that base level in the mid-90s and also went above it on a number of occasions as well. What are the main aspects of his performances this week that you've been impressed with?
I think his first start's been really good. I think his temperament is unbelievable. And I think he's just one of those people that you can't crack. He's got a really good base level, like you mentioned. But the scary thing is that it went up yesterday. Averaged around 93, 94 all week. But yesterday it was 97. He's getting closer to that 15-dart mark pretty much every leg he plays. That's world class.
It is indeed. And Justin Hood, very well placed on debut here at the Super Series. He must have looked at that field of players and thought, what on earth have I let myself in for? But the way he performed yesterday, we did mention it at the top of the show yesterday, that maybe he could play with freedom from the outset because very few people were expecting him to be up around that level. Today is a different challenge for him, though, isn't it? How do you feel he deals with that?
I think the way he deals with things is just the way he goes about life. I think he's quite relaxed, and that's the kind of attitude you need in this group. Obviously, Leonard and Jacob are very relaxed guys. You might get a bit more intensity from Diogo, and I think you're going to get some sort of comeback from Lisa Ashton tonight, potentially. But I just think if he can get himself 2 or 3 wins out of tonight, he's going to be safe.
Let's have a look at the outright odds then for the final night of Group B action. Jacob Taylor, no surprise there to see him as the outright favourite. Do you think there's any value at all in Justin Hood or even maybe Leonard Gates to top the group?
I think there is if Jacob loses the first match, but not if he wins the first match. And that's why the odds are so stacked in the favour of Jacob Taylor. I do believe he's going to win the group. I just think he's going to be too strong for everybody. But ultimately, it's all about who gets through tonight in the top 3 spots.
Yeah, and really impressively, the players who dropped into Group C from Group A, we saw their level drop quite a significant amount. They started to look a little fatigued, didn't they, today? I don't expect to see that from Jacob Taylor. I'm not sure about you.
No, I don't. I think he could even go up a level tonight towards 98, 99 for the night. Nothing will shock me now, especially when we've seen 107 average in a game. But as far as Lisa Ashton's concerned, last chance saloon, we know what she's like in a knockout scenario. I think we'll see the best of her tonight.
Yeah, let's have a look at Assets Acker then. Talk us through your selections for this evening's action.
Well, Taylor versus Gates over 1.518 in the match, 8-13. That is really good. When you consider how consistent Taylor's been on maximums and big scoring this week, I think that's a very inviting price. Portela versus Ashton, total legs over 5.5. So if it goes 6 legs or 7 legs, 1-2. I know that's a stingy price, but I think that could be quite a close match tonight. And Diogo was involved in some tight stuff last night, so maybe that is going to hit. Total legs for Hood versus Taylor over 6.5. Now, that means it's going to go the distance. I think that's a pretty good price, 7-4 for that. We haven't really gone as low as 5.66 to 1 this week, but this is a hard group to pick.
Yeah, and that first match of the night, a real mouth-watering clash. Which way do you see it going this evening?
Standing right behind me, Abby. Come on.
And they're significantly bigger than you as well.
7 legs, and I have said that Jacob's winning the group. I'm going to say that.
OK then, right, let's get into the action, shall we? This man is going to sprint down to the commentary box to join Henry Deacon.
Thank you very much, Abby. Very good evening, everyone. Welcome along to the final session of Group B, where we are going to kick off in the vein that we finished yesterday. And if it's anything like yesterday's meeting, then strap yourselves in for a cracker between Jacob Taylor and Leonard Gates. And this really is what the Super Series is all about. It's the best of the best internationally going toe-to-toe. And we begin with a meeting of the United States of America and Canada here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Leonard Gates, the 52-year-old American slinger from Houston in Texas, made the last 16 of the World Series finals. He's the reigning champion of champions. He takes on the man from Flowers Cove in Newfoundland, Canada, in Jacob Taylor, who really has been a revelation this week. Winner of 3 CDC Tour events in 2022. And here, at the beginning of 2023, he showed us some fantastic stuff. Our referee for the evening's action is Danny McNamara from Ireland. So it's a very international feel here at the Super Series. Paul Nicholson has joined myself down in the commentary box. We're looking forward to tonight.
Immensely. When you think about the quality that you've seen from Jacob Taylor all week, we now expect maybe more from him than we have all week. It can't be ignored that he is now playing at a level that would worry anybody at a world-class level. Let's go through his week, step by step. And I promise you I was not making a New Kids on the Block joke there. First maximum of the match comes in the first leg
100
from LG. But Monday, a daily average of 93.72 for Taylor, yielding 6 points. You know what? I'm going to put my piece of paper down because he's on a 10-darter in the first leg.
Leonard doesn't want you to talk about Jacob. He wants you to talk about him, and his darts are very much helping in that particular scenario. Well, if he gets this, there's only one way to better it tonight.
There's an 11-darter.
Leonard Gates.
Well, over to you, Jake. Can you match it?
Second leg, Leonard to throw first.
I think that's the face of a Canadian dart player that approves of that standard.
100.
But we can't negate the fact that Leonard is under pressure in the middle of the table. He's in a qualifying spot in third, but 4 points from 8 yesterday.
96.
We didn't see his best. I get the feeling we might see a little bit more from him tonight. So I'll try and make this point once again, seeing
45.
as Leonard wants to score 45. 93.72 on Monday as a daily average. That gets my attention, and it wasn't the best on Monday.
60.
He got 6 points. 8 points on Tuesday. 93.38, and at this stage you're thinking, he's no fluke. Wednesday, 94.87 for the daily average, getting 8 points again. And you're thinking, this guy is so consistent.
58.
And then yesterday happens, he has 4 matches, picks up 8 points for the 3rd consecutive day, his first undefeated day.
83.
97.27 for a running average this week, almost 95. That is top
46.
32 standard in the world.
139.
If not, a little bit better than that.
99.
I just wondered whether we have unearthed an absolute gem here at the Super Series. We know the quality that Leonard Gates possesses. He's been showing it on our TV
96.
screens in different
Leonard
tournaments
Gates
under different
40.
codes. And this tops would open up a 2-0
Games on the
lead.
second leg,
And this
Leonard
really is
Gates.
impressive from Leonard Gates. 2 legs, 1 in the space of 27 darts. The average
Third leg, Jacob
111.33.
to throw first. Game on.
This is what Jake's been doing to people this week.
180.
Well, there are 3 maximums in this game already. Make that still 3.
140.
One of the components of my accumulator at the top of the show was more than 1.5 180s in this match. Well, that's been smashed.
100.
Yeah, Jake's been getting out of the blocks really well this week, but maybe not to this level.
45.
That final dart smashed Leonard Gates' average by 7. And because we're midway through the 3rd leg, the averages do give you a fairly true
45.
representation of what we've seen. But as we do, whenever the averages graphic comes up, well, they decide to hit 45.
140.
One thing dart players hate is to see their average when they're in the middle of a match. They can't stand it because they don't want to know anything that's
100.
going on apart from what they see. They just want to see an opponent, a referee, and a board.
58. Jacob, you require 76.
He might need this, you know. That's
No
too
score.
many.
Leonard, you require 118.
Hopefully, it's not too many for Lenny. Oh, he's gone 18's first on 118. And it's the bullseye.
93. Jacob, you require 76.
That's one of the reasons why I don't like 18's first on 118. Double top.
Game on the third
And he gets it
leg,
the second
Jacob
time round.
Taylor.
That was vital in this contest.
Just to hang in there.
Fourth
That's
leg,
all he's been
Leonard
allowed to
throw
do.
First. Game on.
Such has been the prolific scoring of Leonard Gates thus far.
One thing I noticed yesterday from
100.
the play as a whole is that the top 3 had world-class finishing. The bottom 2 did not.
140.
We have to try and decipher what goes wrong for the people who aren't in qualification positions. And what went right for the people in the top 3 in this group.
40.
42% on the doubles yesterday for Leonard. 43% for Jake Taylor. But Justin Hood, 50%. Really good. And they all averaged over 87 for the night.
60.
The bottom 2 both averaged under 84 and were under 25% on their doubles. There was a real line between qualifying and not qualifying if it was a one-day group.
44.
But things can change on day 2, like we saw in Group C.
Scott Walters may be able to change the mindset of it being here. We may call it the James Hubble effect.
39.
As Gates leaves 62 after 12, and Taylor, well, he may well hit a max. He may well hit a 140. It may well be in vain.
Leonard requires 62.
Gonna be a dart. A double 16 for 3-1 lead.
Game shot
This
on the
is
floor
excellent
flag,
from Leonard Gates.
And if he'd hit that double 16 in week 2 in the final game, he wouldn't be here.
Jacob to throw
He would
first.
already be in
Game
Champions Week. But he is here, and he still harbours hopes of a second
100.
visit to Saturday night in this series. Based on the way he's playing, I think he might get there. But it can't be ignored also that when you look at the overall table, a Gates win is awful for the bottom 2. I can't emphasise that enough, because that would put Gates on 6, Hood on 6, and Taylor on 8. And it would give Ashton and Portela, who play in Game 2, a 4-point gap before they've even thrown a dart.
$100.
You'd think to get through, Lisa Ashton may have to be perfect tonight.
98.
I agree with that, and that is an uphill battle.
161.
Superb from Jake.
37.
He's not going quietly. Great standard in this opening match of Friday night.
100. Jacob
Leonard is now
24.
plateauing at around 103. Double 6. And I was going to say, don't miss it. Because if Leonard gets this, he's in a very comfortable position. Interesting play.
98.
To leave yourself double 3. Well, that's really unlucky. But here's the thing, Leonard. You left double 3. It's up to you to hit it.
You chose it. Now it's 1-1-1.
4.
And it isn't found.
Jacob requires 6.
He's only got himself to blame. That's why you don't leave double 3. It's perilous.
No score.
And it's cost Jake Taylor leg 5. 2. And it may just cost him the match.
Been a really good opening performance from Leonard Gates. The average has just ticked below the ton.
No
but
score.
he hasn't got the game won yet. And it could all be down to that decision making to hit that treble 20 to leave double 3, which Taylor's just hit. And so Gates returns to win the match with throw in leg 6, having squandered opportunities to get it done himself.
Strange old game all of a sudden. It's been an interesting day. Darts all over the place today. We've had Super Series action here pretty much all day long. We've had Development Tour darts where there have been wins for Germany's Christopher Tunders and somebody that was here at the back end of last year, Dylan Slevin, with his first Development PDC title today. Congratulations to Dylan.
100.
How are you, the nickname Ocean Slevin?
Hate it. With a passion.
100.
But I'm sure it'll catch on anyway.
Some people didn't like Super Chin at first.
I still don't like it. But I'll give it its due. It's different.
Well, I suppose Dowell couldn't use Gurney E.
No. He did have the dude, which was a bit naff.
139.
Can Jake survive and take us to leg 7?
139.
He might,
Leonard
but he'll need a
Gates,
miss from Leonard
94.
first. There's the 4. And he doesn't get 54 more to leave himself on double 18.
Requires 62.
Double 16. Tied game.
Double 6 leg,
And here we
Jacob
go.
Taylor.
Maybe Jake Taylor can now do Portela and Ashton a favour by taking this last leg. That will keep
Seventh and final
Gates
leg,
in
Jacob
reach.
to throw first.
And we should also mention it would
Game
be
on.
enough to send Jake Taylor through at the earliest possible opportunity in the group. The two players touch fists before this final leg get underway. A mark of respect. It's been a high-quality encounter.
45.
Not the ideal start, though.
100.
In a funny sort of way, after 2 legs, we thought Leonard Gates was going to completely steamroll Jake.
100.
That leg, where he left double 3, has cost him an awful lot.
100.
But the bank isn't closed yet. He could still cash in.
100.
Advantage who? This is on a knife edge.
45.
I'll tell you whose advantage it is now. It's Jake Taylor. He's been given the darts back. Great second dart.
100.
A decent visit to put pressure on Leonard to get trebles now. If he doesn't, Taylor will have 6 from 156.
Well, he needs 2 trebles from here. He's not going to get it. Even a ton may be insurmountable.
60.
And more to the
Jacob
point,
156.
Jacob Taylor, from 3-1 down, has got the opportunity to win the game. He may get it done here on double 18.
Game
Yes, he
time
will.
match,
And
Jacob
Jake Taylor moves on to 10 points. And that means he is fairly much home and host already. He beats Leonard Gates 4-3, whose position now in terms of qualifying for tomorrow night's final is very precarious. Gates, despite an average of 92.29 in 2 maximums, it was 3 out of 10 on the doubles that did for him in the end, which included that decision making there to leave double 3 when in the setup and had 66 left. However, it is Taylor who gets the points after the break. It is Portela in action up against Lisa Ashton. Last time these two met, Ashton put in an incredible performance.
So then Jacob Taylor joins Berry Vampire, Stu Wilson and Martin Thomas in the field for finals night. Next up, Diogo Portela and Lisa Ashton back in action. Ashton, the 4-1 winner when the two met yesterday, of course. Having lost her previous 3 group games, she put in her best display of the night with an average a shade under 94. As for the Brazilian, he put in some good performances early on, but is still looking for his first win of the week. A win for him in this one, and it would make it very difficult for the Lancashire Rose to make it through to another Saturday night here at the Super Series. To see how this one unfolds then, let's hand back to Nico and Henry.
Thanks, Abby. Yes, it's an interesting game for Lisa Ashton, this one, because now she knows if she can get a double over Diogo, she will join Leonard Gates on 4 points. But it would be a dent to her hopes if Diogo can get his first win in this group. He's wearing his away shirt tonight. But Lisa looks very determined, doesn't she, Henry?
There's a poise and there's a purpose about Lisa Ashton tonight. She would have seen that first result for Jake Taylor against Leonard Gates, and as fired up as she was already, that would have given her that extra little bit of motivation. She would have felt that that slow start has cost her a better position in terms of this group, because if she could have converted one of those opening 2 performances, we could have spoken possibly about her in the top 2. If you look at her first 2 games, the averages, well, they didn't paint a pretty picture, and could have beaten Leonard Gates in the second game that she played in that session. But then as the session went on, as Diogo kicks off with a max, it was averages of 89, and then against Portela a 93, which at times, well, for the most part, was well in excess of the ton. Oh, hello, Diogo. Oh, hello. Samba darts from the Brazilians.
His darts have even got the away shirt on as well.
141.
He's not going to put away a 141. If I'm not mistaken, he's got a different shirt on tonight. He's got different flights in. They look like different darts. Everything's been changed.
57.
He's gone full Eiffel 65. He's blue.
I was going to go more along the lines of
44.
Ronaldinho when he had that massive volley from near halfway against David Seaman. Do you remember that? Of course you don't.
45.
No, I don't remember the
You're going to
famous
require 56.
free kick. No.
It wasn't a free kick.
I was hoping you weren't going to bring up the Seaman incident in South Korea in 2002.
16.
Well, Lisa's not going to take 163, of course.
97. Diogo, you require
Diogo might
40.
take tops. He doesn't give Lisa a shot at 66, which was a good year for England. But it was a bad leg for England in the opener.
Second leg, Lisa to throw first. Game on.
She couldn't have asked for much more from that first game, really.
100.
Leonard Gates is a very potent threat right now. And to see him defeated in that opening match was excellent news. But she now has to do herself a favour. The best she can hope for is to get to 10 points. That's 4 wins from 4 tonight. And the things that need to improve, well, the average will probably have to go up by a few clicks. The doubles will have to improve. She had the worst percentage of anybody yesterday at 22%.
99.
7 hits from 32 attempts. I think she might even have to double that.
And she'll definitely look at that second half of the session tonight.
45.
From her perspective as the key half. She plays Diogo in this one. And then her next match after that is against Jacob Taylor, who, yes, there's technically a scenario where 4 players can finish on 10 points. But without there being anything dramatic, he is probably through. Probably through, the key word
100.
there. But then the second 2 matches of the night for her, she takes on Justin Hood. And prior to that, she takes on Leonard Gates. They could be the 2 that dictate whether she goes through or not.
59. Alicia require 156.
We're not going to see a second 156 of the night.
76.
But she's tidied that up a little bit better
130.
with dart 3.
$94.
Speaking of things being tidied up,
80.
that was a good job from number 10.
Game shot on the
But
second
it is
leg,
in
Elise
vain.
Ashton.
Ashton takes out 80 and 2, and that's exactly what needs to happen for her. Clinical is the word that she needs
Third
to
leg,
cling
Diogo
to
throw first.
for her next
Game
4
on.
games.
Now, we saw from Diogo at times yesterday, he would
100.
get out the gate quite strongly. He did so in his first 2 matches against Diogo Portela and against Leonard Gates. But he was unable to
100.
get over the line in the end, and how it could be a so much different story for Diogo Portela today if he managed to even convert one of those couple of matches.
100.
That's darts, though. You don't get freebies, you don't get gimmies. You can get yourself within 2 points of the win.
140.
But if you don't hit that final double, you aren't going to get that win for nothing. That's one of the best things about this sport.
58.
Nobody's going to hit that double for you. Unless you're playing pairs, of course.
You're not just going to
100.
subtly drop in the pairs week
Nope.
hand grenade, are you?
Nope. Not at all. One of the good things about the PDC World Cup now is that it is all pairs.
39. Alicia
Maybe that's the way it should stay.
161.
Just one tournament a year pairs.
91.
Interesting switch. Many people would have gone for the bullseye with the last star, but not Lisa. Her leg difference before this started, -6. That's 4 adrift of Leonard Gates.
61.
Whatever she does from
Alicia
here in this
requires
match,
70.
she's not going to catch Leonard in the top 3. That's good.
30.
Good try.
Diogo, you require 143.
But Diogo gets a look at 143. It's an interesting first start. Has he been watching Rob Cross? That's the kind of thing he would do.
127. Alicia, you require 40.
10s again.
35.
That's what was happening
Diogo, you
yesterday.
require 16.
And at this point, every miss is going to be magnified. How awkward is that? He's got to move all the way across.
Game shot
But
on
he
third
finds
leg,
the
Diogo
double. That is a
Portela.
stupendous dart from Diogo Portela.
I actually thought, with my first look, that he'd hit
Fourth
double
leg,
16 with
Elisa
the first
to throw
dart.
first. Game on.
Fortunately for him, he didn't. It should be 2-1 Ashton,
96.
but now being 2-1 down, she's going to have to dig even deeper.
It was interesting when Scott Mitchell was here in week 2 of this phase. He mentioned the final day
60.
of these sessions, these groups C and B, as akin to a finals day. And these would be the days that people like Ashton, people who used to win stuff,
95.
would come into their own. Because that mindset of the stakes are high, something's on the line, and if you cross the finishing line, something special is going to happen. Well, winners are used to having special things happen to
140.
them.
It's called pressing the urgency button.
78.
And when you do that, you get extra adrenaline. And great players manage adrenaline better than mediocre players and people who are maybe on debut.
140.
Let's face it, Lisa's been everywhere in World Darts. And she still has desire.
140. Diogo, you require 161.
The shot is off, which means Lisa now has a choice.
90. Alicia, you require 92.
17. Leaves the ball.
67.
And the way that
Diogo
dart stood up, and of course
71.
the barrel as well, it was such an inviting guide for Ashton, but Portela is back for double 10. Well, the double 6 means it's double 4 now.
63.
And that kisses the wire. But it kisses the other side, and it keeps Ashton alive in this leg. It's 2 at double 8. The double Diogo found in the previous leg is the one that Lisa finds in this one. Can't split these, 2 apiece.
Diogo almost did a triple green there, didn't he? 51, 12 and 8. There's a practice game out there called
60.
Harvest. It's too complicated to explain, but there's a component of Harvest where you have to hit 3 different colours with 3 darts. So one dart's got to be in the black, one dart's got to be in the red, and one dart's got to be in white or green. So it's got to be 3 different colours with 3 darts. He's just given me an idea for a section of that game. 3 of the same colour.
44.
So if you know that game and you're looking for a different section for it, or a different level, 3 of the same colour is a good one to use.
78.
Gonna say, he nearly hit more greens there than Jordan Spieth.
You got me thinking who's best at greens in regulation on tour at the minute.
61.
I'll come back to you on that one.
Not long till Augusta now. That's a couple of weeks away.
100.
Next week. Yeah. They're actually playing a tour event right now in Texas. The Valero Texas Open. It's in San Antonio, so not particularly close
100.
to where Leonard Gates is from. But it is Augusta next week.
In the beautiful state of Georgia.
100.
That's a beautiful state. Some great history. Diogo's been really interesting on some of his approach shots.
133.
I think he's been practicing with somebody different because he's been looking at things differently. Bullseye.
50.
She won't be pleased with that dart. In fact, you can see that she's not.
103.
Down to the 19s on this 103. But he's done the cardinal sin. The cardinal
71.
sin of missing the big number. And to be honest, he's only just left it for double 16 there.
1.
That was awkward after that first dart.
32.
You know, as soon as Diogo threw that second dart in the previous visit and I heard a wire clipped,
Game shot on the
I just
fifth
had an
leg,
intake
Diogo
of breath.
Portela.
But now it's Lisa's turn to have that intake of breath again. She's had plenty of chances in this game. She's had 11 darts at double. Diogo
Lisa to throw
has
first.
had less than
Game
that.
on.
But he's converting better. Remember I said at the start of the game, the thing that needs to improve?
47.
That's what needs to improve. So far, it hasn't. It must from here.
$25.
And if you look at her average, 83.49, it's remarkably similar to 2 things from this week.
133.
How she averaged yesterday and what she's done the whole week. Yesterday, 83.62. Week long, 83.29. So this is her level.
85.
This is plan B.
95.
What we like to call razzmatazz in world darts, using the 19s a bit more. After famous Latvian dart player Madas Razma. He hits more treble 19s than anybody in the
59.
world. Probably because he goes for more than anybody else in the world.
Loves a 171.
47.
Ironically, 171 is a good number for Lisa from 179.
28.
Looks like we might be going the distance for the second game in succession. Three
61.
really well thrown shots there, but no big trouble. I mean, that Diogo's not out of this if he gets a max. He got 2, remember, at the start of the game.
140. Lisa require 118.
It's enough to get to a finish. Now what does she do?
58.
She thinks a lot quicker than I do.
164.
Portela cannot win it with the blockbuster 164, and so Ashton should get a couple of darts at top now
Lisa requires
to
60.
send us all the way to a deciding leg. And it would mean out of 14 possible legs that we could have played tonight, we have played the lot. Well, we said from dart 1 this would be a tight group, and we thought it'd be another tight night.
7th and final
Well,
leg,
he's living
Diogo
up just to the standard now. And it was kind of the opposite tell to yesterday, where out of all of our games, we only saw 3 matches go the distance.
125.
Both of them were involving Leonard Gates against Portela, Ashton, and Taylor. In fact, there was 4 matches that went 4-3. My apologies there. Also the game between Jacob Taylor and Justin Hood going full whack. Full 7 miles.
58.
There you can see the side-on view of Lisa. There's a little bit of
57.
forward and back movement in that throw, but one of the reasons for that is because she seems to throw on her front tiptoes, and she's constantly resetting. Diogo is remarkably still throughout,
100.
and I love the fact that he's still through dart 3. He doesn't retrieve until it is thrown. Slightly forward, back, slightly forward.
100.
She is just a natural tungsten thrower. He's cultivated this action over years of practice.
135.
Lisa's got to find something like a 140 or 180 now. And does.
140.
Her 5th of the game.
83.
And it all comes down to this. Lisa's on a 3-darter. Diogo's on a 2-darter. And he gets first look. 88.
75.
Now can she take the points?
104.
She has had to battle for this opportunity at tops.
84.
And it drags just below.
Diogo
That would have been some way
8.
to really put yourself in the race. And Portela to put himself onto 2 points. Wants double 4 for leg 4.
That's not nice.
6.
You can see how he
Lisa
feels,
require 20.
but Ashton can unwrap a gift. And
Game
does
shot.
so with the
And
3rd dart, which will
Lisa
make
Ashton.
it feel even worse for the Brazilian, who suffers his 5th defeat here in Group B. But that's a vital win for the 4-time ladies world champion. She's now on 4 points in the table, alongside Leonard Gates, admittedly behind on leg difference. But now we've got a group on our hands. You can see that 83 averages were for both players, and the checkered percentages were remarkably similar to what we saw from the players yesterday. We will take a short break now, but when we come back, we will look at Justin Hood for the first time this evening.
Super Series debutant Justin Hood made a superb impression here last night, didn't he? We saw that he may have found it easier to play with freedom from the off due to the pressure and expectation on other players' shoulders. Will he be able to deliver the same level of performances as last night now that he is in such a good position to qualify for finals night? He's taken on a man he beat 4-2 last night, the newly crowned champion of champions in Leonard Gates, thanks to a really clinical showing on the doubles. Can he get back-to-back wins over the man who was runner-up on finals night the last time we saw him here, or will Gates start to make his move? Here's Henry Deacon and Paul Nicholson to talk you through the action.
Leonard Gates is now in a bit of a dogfight for a qualification spot, now that he's lost his first game and Lisa Ashton has won her first game. But this 29-year-old debutant this week from Glastonbury is not safe by any means after his first day, because he now needs more points to secure a top 3 spot. He still sits in second, which he occupied overnight, which coming into game 3 is good news. Now he must bolster that.
Leonard to throw first. Game on.
And the best way to do so is to do the double over Leonard Gates.
Now, the issue that Justin will have is, as good a night as he had last night, he's the last player to play this evening. And what he would have seen is what's happened in games 1 and game 2. The win for Taylor, that will be music to his ears. But that win for Ashton makes that margin for error now in this
59.
game that ever much tighter. Because if Gates wins this, Ashton beats Taylor, there will be 3 players in second, third and fourth respectively
58.
that are all tied on 6 points.
More than ever before in a Group C campaign, or, sorry, Group B campaign. The halfway point tonight is going to be a very fair reflection on how things stand.
What did you make of Justin's first night here at the Super Series?
Pretty good, actually. I talk a lot about the kind of standard that you need to contend here. He was just shy of 89 as an average.
78.
But his doubling, wow. 50% for your first day. I'll give him a really good, solid A- for that.
60.
In fact, from my calculations, that's the second best doubles performance in a daily campaign this week, behind James Hurrell from Monday, who had 54%.
58.
Now it's about replicating that. We talked about Portela and Ashton looking to improve on their doubling. They didn't. They stayed in that 1 in every 4 shots
59.
successful range. But if Justin can maintain that 1 in every 2 range and get enough chances, he's going to cause everybody problems.
$100.
No start to this one. Justin first to leave the finish after 15, but well, that's a bit more like it from Leonard.
39.
A bit more like what we saw in that opening match against Jacob Taylor.
What a great second dart that is.
74.
Almost completes the job
Leonard will require 44.
for an opening leg break. Double 16.
28.
He's just missing too many shots at the outer ring, and he's starting to show a little bit of frustration. He'll be more frustrated if this goes.
16.
There's that slightly rushed dart.
Leonard requires 16.
And Gates comes back. And it happens again.
Justin, you require 16.
They even look comfortable up there.
Game shown.
But it's Justin Hood who takes the first leg by crook or by hook. It's usually the other way round, isn't it?
It is.
Second leg, Justin
We'll let you off, Henry.
first. Game on.
One thing that Justin's got tonight is
96.
a position in the draw, which I know a little bit about. He starts in game 3, ends in game 9, which means he's got a lovely pattern to his play this evening.
100.
He plays a game, has a game off. Plays a game, has a game off. And that continues to the end of his schedule. That's what people want. They want a consistent schedule like that. Apart from the fact that he's got that, the others are a bit more scattered around the schedule. Leonard, for example,
100.
plays game 1, plays game 3, then doesn't play again until game 6. So he gets a 2-game break at the end of this. You might think, that doesn't really make a difference. Oh, it does. It changes
92.
the way you prepare. You might be having the luxury of a 15-minute sit-down just to try and gather your thoughts. Is this a change of equipment from Leonard Gates? It's definitely a change of flights. And I don't think he's had a chance to go to the table and change the flights. This is definitely a pre-made set. And he did this
54.
at the World Senior Championship as well. There's a whole host of ulterior and alternative thinking going on tonight. We've seen Ashton going down to the 19s. We've now seen Justin Hood do that.
125.
You might say to yourself, well, why would he change his darts mid-game? Well, maybe he's assessing how his usual set fly up there. If he's not happy, he's not afraid to make changes.
78. Leonard require 122.
Two singles means
40.
no shot to win the leg right there.
Justin, you require 120.
You smell a little bit of danger, but that is the second time
80.
so far this evening where he's had a real shocker of a dart. He hit a small 12 earlier on, and that was for a big 20. 63, which means 13 and bull.
Issue is, how much can he see?
57.
That wasn't a bad dart, considering.
Justin, you require 40.
Justin's hoping this isn't a bad dart.
Game
It isn't a bad dart at all.
Justin Hood.
And miraculously, averaging 73, he's 2-0 up. If you'd have said to Hood,
with
2 legs in, he was averaging 73,
Game on.
he would have said, okay, I'm 2-0 down, I'll try and fix it from here. It's Leonard who needs to fix it.
100.
Well, let's talk equipment then, because there is a sizable difference for Leonard Gates from game 1 to game 2.
57.
See, well, I think there's just a slight kerfuffle in terms of the scoreboard, so we will just quickly get that corrected for you, which gives us a chance to have a look at. There is a bit of an equipment change. He was using slightly longer stems. I'm not sure if there's actually a change in terms of the actual dart itself. I wonder whether you can give us a little bit of a reflection here.
Yeah, the stem is definitely
60.
different. It's darker in colour. It might, in fact, be the same type of stem. By the looks of it to me, he has, at the bottom of the stem, an add-on weight, which is
52.
quite rare these days, you see, from pro dart players. I think the last person I saw using that was Steve Hine. Man, they called the Muffin Man. But he's gone back to a different set now. Is this the third different set he's used tonight? How many sets has he got up there?
He said an RSVP to Peter Wright earlier.
Peter hasn't got these ones, which means that he's probably going to have them
60.
by Monday morning through the letterbox.
Even though he's going to use it on the Euro Tour this weekend.
100.
There was nothing wrong with these darts at the start of the game with Jake Taylor. But ultimately, it was an error from him, not the darts, that cost him that match.
78.
A tactical error of leaving double three from 66. Now, he didn't hit double three and he didn't hit double one.
59.
So there's the error. But the reason we don't leave double three like that is because it's perilous. It cost him massively. Because, let's face it, he should have beaten
54.
Jake Taylor.
Leonard require 122.
We'll expand a bit more upon this in the next leg. Gates leaving 1-2-2 here. Doesn't have to go for the bullseye. We've heard back on 200. So he may just square up. Might try and find another 18 to leave himself on double 16. May even think of a single 10. He may even think about the bullseye. He may even hit it.
Well, that was out of the clear blue sky. After all of that thinking, we had no idea what he was going to do.
Game on.
But maybe that's a catalyst to what could possibly happen next.
100.
This is the best bad game I've seen all week. There have been a few games this week which haven't really lit up the stage.
60.
But this is intriguing. You can't carry on playing at this standard all night and expect to get points. I promise you that.
93.
Going back to the Leonard Gates darts thing, he's changing toing and throwing. Can we look at that as a sign that maybe he's not comfortable up there?
140.
I think we have to. Why does Peter Wright, why does any player, because Peter's not the only one, why does any player take multiple sets on stage?
98.
Because they know that if their darts aren't flying to their liking, they have something they can try. Mervyn King has done it in the past.
140.
Leonard, Peter Wright. There are players in the world who wouldn't even dream of doing such a thing. Can you imagine James Wade taking a second set of darts on stage? Absolutely not.
161.
But you got to do what you got to do.
He's just checked to 1-2-2, but the 161 will not follow suit.
37. Justin, you require 87.
This will hurt because Leonard is starting to play better. Double 18 to close the door. That is really impressive. Leonard was on 24, just waiting for his chance. But the door was slammed in his face.
Leonard to throw first.
And for all the big finishes you can have in a game, how many times is a match decided by a shot like that? A treble to double
60.
combination, or one of those shots like in 87, when your opponent is sat on a double, and then the tide can completely change as a consequence of it. And Leonard's come up dry with his first visit.
99.
The treble means that he just about grabs the darts here in leg 5.
And leg 5 is a big one, because if Leonard loses it,
96.
not only does he lose the match, but he would then be tied on points with Lisa Ashton, and he would have the same leg difference. And she would have a game in hand, albeit
94.
against Jacob Taylor. And that's after this. This is following a really good script.
100.
This is basically saying we are going all the way to the distance because Gates and Ashton will play midway through our session.
Oh, boy.
168.
That was absolutely brilliant from Justin Hood. He's just taught me something about him.
95. Justin, you require 100.
That was counting from the gods. Doesn't like the lie. Hates it. Almost gets another 60.
100. Leonard, you require 150.
Where's he going to go? We were speculating that he might go 3 bulls. But Justin Hood is one shot away from carnage in the middle of this
90.
table.
Justin, you require
Carnage in the
40.
middle of the table, but then he might be finding his way off into the sunset. If he can find double 10 to seal a 4-1 success against Leonard Gates, that's not a bad guide at all.
Game,
It's the
shot,
perfect
and
guide,
that's
and it's the
Justin
perfect
Hood.
start for Justin Hood. As for Leonard Gates, after winning his first 2 games in Group B, he is now on a run of 4 consecutive defeats, and his place in tomorrow night's final is under considerable threat now, because Justin Hood has moved his way to 8 points, and that means he is in a strong suit now to progress his way through to the final. And so what he would hope for now is a result for Jacob Taylor in his game against Lisa Ashton. Them two going toe-to-toe. A win for Ashton would knock Gates out the automatic spaces. Join us for that next.
This is the MODUS Super Series. $182.
And you can book your free tickets for finals night by visiting dartshop.tv. Jacob Taylor's going to be there. He's been a consistent performer all week, hasn't he? We did see something rare from him in his opener, though. He averaged below 90, but crucially got the win. He got the better of the Lancashire Rose by 4-0 yesterday, equaling the best average we've seen here this week, a whopping 107.36. It is, of course, their 5th meeting of the week. Taylor winning on all 4 occasions. The Lancashire Rose taking just 2 legs off the truth so far. Oh, how she could do with a win here, though, to take her above Leonard Gates into 3rd. Let's get into this one then and rejoin our commentary team.
You're not kidding, Abby. She really could use a win for 2 reasons. This is her game in hand on Leonard Gates in the table. She is now tied with Gates on points and leg difference, and any win will put her in a qualification spot with 2 games to go. But there is a bit of a caveat, because guess who plays each other in the first game after the half-time break? It's Gates and Ashton.
First leg, Lisa to throw first.
At this juncture, you've got to say that Justin Hood and Jacob Taylor are in the distance. Diogo's out of it.
100.
If he wins his last 3 games and gets to 6 points, it's just not going to be enough.
60.
Ashton would like to be in front in the table by this point as she takes on Leonard Gates. The issue she has is she's taking on a player with a 9-game unbeaten streak in Jacob Taylor. His last defeat in this competition came on Wednesday morning, the first game of Wednesday morning, when he lost out 4-3 in a deciding leg to Ryan Harrington. He missed 12 darts at a double 2. Well, claim what would have been a perfect day on Wednesday as well as a Thursday.
Just doesn't lose much.
83.
It's as simple as that. And the way he was able to get through that dogfight with Leonard Gates at the start of the programme at around about 10 past 10 local time is testament to the fact that maybe he's got more qualities than we've even given him already.
94. Alicia requires
Blood Ashton?
114.
Maybe. Double top.
74. Jacob
Her misses tonight
24.
are a lot tighter. That's a good sign.
And a number on the back of combinations. So she's given herself chances on these mid-range finishes.
56. Alicia require 40.
She looked very motivated at the end of last night's session. Oh no.
5. Jacob requires 68.
And she's burnt a dart as well on dart 3. Double top.
28.
And let's see if
Alicia
burning that dart at the end of the
35.
previous visit makes any difference. It doesn't make any difference.
Leg, Lisa
Did you see where that 3 was? It was nowhere near the double. That was making sure that the single was hit.
Second leg, Jacob to throw.
Failing that, at the very worst, she was going to hit the treble.
I was saying
57.
beating Jacob Taylor is a difficult task. Well, it is a difficult task because in his Super Series career, this is his 21st match.
85.
He has lost just 4.
Win percentages as a whole in this competition over the last 2 years.
83.
I've talked about this in great detail. Anybody who is better than 50-50. So let's say you've played 100 matches. If you've
95.
won 50 games and lost 50 games, that's putting you in a very good category. However, if you're towards 60%,
100.
you're in the elite. People like the Barstows, the people who've had major success here.
100.
Raymond Smith, Conan Whitehead, Robert Owen, those kind of players. People like Graham Usher, who's no longer here because he's on
83.
tour. Jacob Taylor this week is 80%. He's in a class of his own.
60.
The more you watch him, the more you think this is the guy who's going to pick the jackpot up tomorrow.
Yep.
100.
And he was only 72 to win the whole week before everything began tonight.
42. Jacob requires 78. 38. Alicia require 119.
Got to be 19s first. Double top. Oh, the timing! The timing! Why is she shaking her head? 119 finishes don't get any better than that.
Lisa to throw first. Game on.
That was phenomenal. I was having a chat with the friends of ours at Sporty Stuff TV at around 8:30 this evening. They said, come on, Nico, give us some tips. I said, do you know, it's really hard to pick some tonight. We did the accumulator at the top of the show.
140.
Maybe you can go through that one in a second. But I said, I think Jacob Taylor's going to beat Leonard Gates at 4-5.
55.
I said, I think Ashton is going to have the biggest finish against Portela. They've both hit.
55.
My other tip, 7-2 for Jacob Taylor to win this group. Not just the group, it's the whole thing. 7-2.
98.
Just remember, if you are gambling tonight, be very responsible. Over 18s only, and begambleaware.org for more information, please.
$42.
Should be livid with that visit because it's left 166.
Probably more livid now that Jake has found himself on a finish. Something very gettable.
58.
I don't think I've seen her look this urgent all week. She knows it's now or never. But it's never in leg 3. He's on the comeback trail.
He makes a 106 finish just look simple. As if, well, we just hit this, hit that. No dramas. We'll move on. Leg 4. Some players, they give it the full welly when that happens.
100.
He just makes the game look so simple.
You might be asking yourself, where's this guy been? It's very simple. Newfoundland, Labrador, over in Canada. A long way to get to places like Portsmouth in Hampshire. But why is he such a good player?
45.
I give you 2 answers. 1, his temperament is immaculate. His technique is
60.
right up there. There's very little wrong with it, if anything at all. We talk about positions a lot in coaching. His positions are brilliant. And that 180 gets Ashton back in the leg. Is that 40?
60.
Well, there's the confirmation that it was 40 and it turned into 60. There's some speed and urgency about Ashton tonight, which is great to watch.
58. Jacob require 160.
They are sparring with each other right now. He had 106. And now it's 116.
Jacob Taylor.
So is your money on 126 in the next leg? Because everything is tied up now.
This is a proper battle. A proper affair. But Ashton doesn't care about
83.
battles or anything like that. All she cares about is the points. It's the only thing she cares about right now.
Just picture this. If she can get over the line in this game, and take a 2-point lead over Leonard Gates. It's then in her hands in the next match.
180.
She gets to 6. She plays Gates. She gets to 8. Then he can only get to 6.
60.
Job done. Win this game. Win the next game. You're through.
And the bookmakers' favourite at the
96.
beginning of the week to win it wouldn't even make Saturday night. And remember, this is a man that less than 7 days ago picked up a major TV title on a televised terrestrial network.
Please require 142.
Oh boy.
Splendid. Looking for the biggest finish in this match so far.
122.
That would have been our 3rd ton plus finish. She doesn't mind as long as she takes double 10
Please require 20.
for the lead for the 2nd time. Back to 5s. And she spent
15.
so much time there
Jacob require
the last couple of nights.
142.
Well, that would have been total darting irony because Ashton had the opportunity at tops on the back of the 142.
60.
Taylor's not going to convert, and so Ashton returns to the 5
5.
to win leg 5. For 3-2 lead, double 2.
Team shown the 5th leg.
And she's a leg
Louise
away
Ashton.
of becoming the first player in this group to depose of Jacob Taylor.
Still think that percentage on the outer ring is not
6th
good
leg,
enough.
Jacob to throw
It's good
first.
enough in this
Game
game, but is it good enough for her? I don't think it is.
60.
She spent so much time on double 5, and you tell me when that is ever a good thing. It isn't.
140.
But what is good tonight is that her scoring around that treble 20 has been so much better.
If you're becoming
100.
prolific on odd-numbered doubles, it means one thing. You have missed doubles before, by and large, because that's the only way you get to the likes of double 5 and double
57.
9.
A double 5 is only a good thing if you've got something like 90 or 130, and you get a requisite amount of 20s
40.
to leave that shot. She hasn't been doing that. She's been leaving 5s because of misses at tops and 10s.
At this point, can we talk about a deviation in the performance of Jacob Taylor tonight?
28.
Because he averaged 86 in his first game. The average is now 84. We've seen him for the most part of this week lurk around the 92 and 93 range.
121.
I don't think he's playing as well tonight. But don't discount him at all.
121.
Just look at what he did in the previous match he played. We might be going the distance again involving Jake.
84.
But not if Lisa takes this.
155. $25.
Okay.
Jacob require 96.
A bad first couple of darts, but the thinking behind leaving 130, I get it.
56.
I really do get it.
Alicia require
She wants
130.
a shot down the middle. She wants a dart down the middle, and it just misses.
94.
You can see the
Jacob
movement
require
of the
40.
wire of that second dart.
Game
And
shot
Taylor
six leg,
converts
Jacob
tops.
Taylor.
And we go all the way again. And this could well be the most crucial leg of this group. Because if Ashton wins
Seventh
this,
and final leg, Lisa
Leonard
to
Gates
throw first.
is effectively on his last life.
Do you know what the worst case scenario for Lisa was? That she wanted.
134.
At the very, very, very worst was to lose this 4-3. Because if that
100.
happens, she will be only one leg behind her opponent before she plays him.
93.
But if she wins this leg, it's the points that do the talking.
100.
She doesn't want to use Justin Hood in Game 9 as the benchmark to get through.
100.
She still has that chance of being through with a game to spare. And she's got the jump.
100.
And has 6 starts from 174.
$58.
Not quite.
And Taylor has been tunning his way down to this point. And boy, could he do with another one now, but he may switch down below.
61.
He will switch down below. That's unlucky. Well, Lisa Ashton, can she finish off with a 116 that Taylor has already hit in this match? Can she find a way with that dart sat smack bang in the middle just beneath the bed? That's unlucky.
The dart went all the way in. No point visible, which
58.
meant that the whole 60 bed was covered
140.
by one of her barrels. Now, she must be clinical on double top or
100.
double 10. Otherwise,
Easy require 58.
she will be beaten. And it
38.
bites her again.
Jacob
And
Earl
Taylor
Horror, 40.
is 3 out of 4 on doubles. Does he make an error? He
5.
does. What happened there?
Elisa
I think that's come
Earl
off the flight
20.
of the second dart, and it's had a untimely ricochet. Will it be a timely moment of luck for Ashton? It's double 5 again.
10. Jacob Earl
The
Horror,
opportunity's come and
35.
gone, but Taylor, because of that last dart, has had to spurn a dart for double 16. Well, that was wild.
23.
There's been some wild darts in this last
Elisa
leg,
require
and Ashton's
10.
back again. This is crazy.
I can't wrap my brain around this. But
Game
what I
shot.
can wrap my
And a
brain
match for
around is the
Lisa
fact that
Ashton.
Lisa Ashton is now only 1 win away from qualifying for Saturday night. By hook or by crook, you said it earlier. And for the first time in this group, Jacob Taylor is defeated. 82.64 is not good enough to beat Lisa Ashton on this occasion. But that gives Lisa the jump on Leonard Gates, and she is now in 3rd spot in the table. We will take a bit of a break, and when we come back, it will be Justin Hood's turn to try and get 2 wins for the night.
Justin Hood and Diogo Portela next up for you tonight, and after completing the double over Leonard Gates last time out, a win for debutant Hood in this one will see him through to finals night at the first time of asking here at the Live Lounge. It really has been such an impressive showing, especially when you look at the quality in this group. Can he book his spot in finals night with 2 games to spare, or can Portela get his first 2 points on the board? How do you see this one going, chaps?
Well, if you look at the form guide, you'd think it'd go the way of Justin Hood, but despite being pointless in this group, we mentioned it in the game against Lisa Ashton, Diogo Portela has presented himself with opportunities to get wins. He hasn't been able to get over the finishing line yet, though.
Not yet, but I think now it's all for him about just getting something out of this experience. He does not want to walk away with 0. But it's not going to be easy against the man nicknamed Happy Feet.
Could be a film that you and Charlie and Danny could watch in the house together tomorrow.
Justin to throw first.
Safe to say that's probably not going to happen.
$99.
If you're not aware, we do actually have some accommodation where a lot of us share some time together. When we're doing double sessions, the thing that we crave the most is sleep. We want to be as aware as we can be when we've got this action in front of us for your entertainment. Now, just want to bring something to people's attention.
140.
If you're looking at Justin Hood's darts and you think, well, they look pretty familiar, you're not wrong. Because to my naked eye, they look like
60.
Michael van Gerwen darts. Very similar setup to that of MVG. Black short stems.
92.
Same shape of flight, different design. Same angle of attack.
So far this week, similar levels of accuracy as well.
Justin, you require 170.
We saw one of these a little bit earlier from Ryan Harrington.
105.
He's just plotting his way through the early part of this game, and he looks really comfortable. At times, in his first game tonight against Leonard Gates, he did not
85.
look comfortable. He had a couple
Justin,
of bad darts,
65.
but his ability to just move on caused Gates all sort of issues. Double 10.
45.
And there's that rushed shot. I just don't think it suits him. I think he needs a bit more structure to his game, where every single time he throws,
59.
it's a bit more like Diogo. It has the
20.
same mechanics for every shot.
Game
But who am I
first
to
leg,
argue with an
Justin
England
Hood.
international? And a man taking a 1-0 lead as well.
And is that on the basis that if we watch Justin
Second
now,
Diogo to throw first.
in the scoring
Game on.
phase of this leg, every single dart is more controlled and more measured. But when it comes to the doubling, that's when it tends to speed up a little bit.
I think it's quite erratic.
85.
Monitoring that yesterday, I saw it in the scoring phase. Look, aim. Not aim. Not aim.
60.
And he's also input what's called a bottom step into that throw, something that Michael van Gerwen does. So he prods the dart quite low. He hasn't been doing that on a regular basis, so he's got
60.
3 or 4 different throws. It's almost like he's trying to find which throw works best. 2 darts aimed, and then 1
91.
not aimed. I could classify that as erratic, but maybe we should call it his brand of natural.
180.
No matter what you call that, you have to call that a brand of brilliance.
It's definitely one of the better darting nicknames out there. Brazilian.
84.
I like it a lot. And he was talking to us yesterday, wasn't he, about how Brazil have not been included in the PDC World Cup this year. In fact,
134.
Southern and Central American countries have a chance to qualify for that tournament, but it would involve Diogo going all the way over
96.
to Costa Rica to
Diogo
do that.
require 42.
So it may be a year without the Samba boys
26.
in the PDC World Cup, even with an extended field
170.
and an all-pairs event.
Sure, a topic of discussion we will have as time goes on. It's one of the most discussed events on the calendar as the
94.
World Cup,
Diogo
such as the
requires
intrigue
16.
and the interest over this tournament. Just inside. And that's on the wire. 2 well-thrown darts at double.
12.
But he cannot find a
Euro
way
requires
through.
76.
So, Hood, 76 for the break of throw and a 2-0 lead.
Ooh, double 18 this time.
Gauge
And
on the
in as
second
well.
leg, Justin Hood.
He is a punisher, isn't he? He'll hang around, you make your mistake, and he will take his
Third leg,
chance.
Justin to throw first.
And he's got
Game on.
Diogo's head spinning. Not far from qualifying for Saturday night on his debut. A win here would get him to 10 points. Ashton can get to 10 points.
85.
Leonard Gates can't. And neither can Diogo. So imagine getting through Group B with 2 games to spare. The first week you come here. He's made a really
100.
good impression.
And also beyond that, because of the defeat for Jacob Taylor in that previous game to Lisa Ashton, a win here for Justin Hood will put him to the top of the table.
41.
Yeah, he's got a good leg difference here, plus 11. Jacobs has come down to plus 8 now.
$96.
He's just not making much in the way of errors. It's not a spectacular performance.
58.
But what it is tidy. 89 average, 50% on the doubles. It's the kind of formula that wins you a lot of games here.
And I'm going to get carried away with myself a little
105.
bit here.
Steady.
But if Justin Hood won this group and Jacob Taylor finished second, Group 1 tomorrow night could be Berry Van Peer,
140.
Jacob Taylor and Stu
Doesn't
Wilson.
require 120.
Not bad.
$100.
That's a pretty good setup as well. He's meandering towards that 3-0 lead, which kind of looks inevitable
99.
the way he's playing.
Justin, you require 20.
You don't expect him to miss. Now that's all
I've
good.
never seen a dart so close to double 10 in my life that hasn't gone in like that. That's outrageous. But he does
Gauge
find
on
double
the
5
third leg,
instead.
Justin Hood.
It's almost like the point of his first dart and the wire of double 10 were having some sort of relationship. That's how
Fourth leg,
close they
Diogo
were.
to throw first.
But it is
Game on.
3-0.
$100.
And this is painful for Diogo, who was defeated by Hood 4-1 yesterday. And you just wonder if he is going to get points from his campaign in this group. Where are they going to come from?
137.
He's got Leonard Gates in match 8 and Jacob Taylor in match 10.
Remember, Leonard Gates by that point may still need the
54.
points.
But then again, he might not. Might be all done and dusted by the end of game 6.
64.
You're marking your card to see what's going on after the half-time break. Justin Hood will take on Jacob Taylor in game 7.
81.
What looks like a battle for the top.
When you say half-time break, does that mean we get to go for our rollover hot dogs?
Nope. It means we have a commercial break
59.
and we come back in about 3 minutes. But it is half time.
No oranges then.
No oranges, no very famous cans of bitter, and nobody coming into shot saying, have it.
134.
Well, I remember, and I love bringing this up, because Diogo played during our at-home tournament during the pandemic and the lockdowns. He had a very famous match with Martin Adams
132.
that I commentated on, and I will never, ever forget it. And he played Martin Adams in the very first match
60.
in this venue as well, funnily enough. But in that match,
111.
when they were playing from their own homes, Diogo took out 170 against Adams twice. 2 in a game. And one of them was to win the game.
87. Diogo, you require 72.
This is not a 170. It's easier. Double 16.
40.
And that might be that.
Justin, you require
That could be
24.
curtains for Portela in this match as Hood returns a double 12 for 4-0 success. Double 6.
Game
Seals
shot
the
and
win
match,
for Justin Hood.
Hood.
And seals pretty much that place into tomorrow night's final. He's top of the table, 10 points plus 15 by way of leg difference. And it was another impressive performance. He continues to impress at the Super Series, does Justin Hood. And so we reach the halfway point of our night here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, where Paul Nicholson's going to make his way up to the balcony to have a chat with Abigail Davies, if it we've seen. But on the other side of this break, it is the game that will decide whether it is Lisa Ashton or Leonard Gates who's going to go through. A win for Ashton, it is all sealed. Leonard Gates would be eliminated. We'll join you for that after this short break.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, where Justin Hood, on debut, has just booked his place in finals night. Paul Nicholson alongside me. From what you've seen of him tonight and yesterday, what aspects of his game do you think will make him a big threat tomorrow?
Not fazed by anything. I'm almost jealous of it, in fact, because a lot of players come into this arena and they just get nervous, anxious, and maybe too excited with the prospect of making a Saturday. He just plods along and does his thing, and whatever happens, he's okay with it. He's going to have to be okay with success because he's in Saturday.
Yeah, let's have a look at the league table then. 2 of the 3 spots from Group B have been filled. Justin Hood and Jacob Taylor will be involved in finals night. Who is going to join them? Well, our next match is, of course, Leonard Gates against Lisa Ashton. A really, really pivotal match. Lisa Ashton, the first player to beat Berry Vampire in Group A. Now the first player to get the better of Jacob Taylor in Group B. It really shows such a huge sign of strength, doesn't it?
Maybe one of the reasons why she's a 4-time world champion, having qualities like that. She's never out of it. But I think we have to be honest. If she sharpens up on the doubles, then the signs are going to be good. Her scoring has been much better tonight and her focus has been fantastic.
And for Leonard Gates, where's it gone wrong for him tonight, do you feel?
It's been quite erratic. Things started really well in the first game, just wasn't able to continue things on, and must start this game well and just get some confidence.
Yeah, and that frustration, it started to seep into his game yesterday, didn't it, towards the back end? It already has today. Do you think that could play a factor in this one if he doesn't get off to a strong start?
I think so. There was a period in the second game as well where he was not sure what set to use, but maybe the gap between that game and this has given him a chance to figure out what he needs, and I hope for his sake that he has.
And a word on Jacob Taylor before we get into this one then. We said that we didn't think there'd be a drop-off from him tonight. 2 averages in the 80s so far. Do you think if that continues tonight, that'll be of any concern tomorrow?
No, I don't think so. It's been a long week for him. He's playing his 5th day, but how many times do we see people playing 5 or 6 days and they have one bad day or maybe a couple of bad games? Let's face it, it's not the worst campaign in the world. He's won 1 and lost 1. So he's still got half of his campaign left to go tonight to get some additional confidence.
Absolutely. Right then, let's get into this one. We are very much looking forward to it. Henry Deacon, over to you.
Thank you very much, Abby. And so for Leonard Gates, he enters must-win territory. Defeated to Lisa Ashton, and we know the full lineup for the finals of Week 8. It'll feature a 4-time world champion. It'll feature a former World Youth finalist in Berry Vampire. It'll include an ADC belt holder in Stu Wilson. And include the precocious Canadian talent Jacob Taylor and Justin Hood in this particular group. It is shaping up quite nicely, and we may know the full lineup very, very soon. But this man, Leonard Gates, will have different ideas, different thoughts about that conceivable scenario. He still feels that he's got the opportunity, Gates. The gate crash Saturday night and the finals field.
First leg, Leonard to throw first. Game on.
Where do you see this one going, Paul?
Well, first things first, Henry. He's gone back to the first
55.
set of darts that he changed to in game 2. Look at that face of Ashton.
85.
It's one of, I will not be denied. But this is firmly the most exciting game of the week to date. Because of reputation, of titles, and what's on the line.
100.
If Gates wins, it's 6 points each, with 1 game left each. Ashton
60.
has Hood. Gates has Portela. Don't tell me that that is not a factor. Ashton to beat Gates
59.
right now, well, she might have to beat Leonard. Based on form,
125.
Leonard's last match seems a little easier than that of Lisa's last match. So best to get it done now. As to whether she will,
93.
I've been impressed with her tonight, I'm not going to lie. But this is a tough call.
59.
These are two bona fide champions slugging it out. And when you have two players that have achieved what they have achieved in their career, well, I'll tell you what, he's changed the setup again, Leonard Gates.
140.
He's done it again.
Seems to me like that setup works better than the other one.
43.
I'd love to know what he's thinking
Leonard
about.
require 54.
Double top for the first leg.
14.
He is talking to himself an awful lot the last couple of nights. And the reason for that is because things aren't going his way. 108. And all she can do is set it up.
101.
Which is exactly what she does.
Leonard require 40.
Tops for Gates for the opening leg. Double 10.
20.
That has happened way too often tonight.
28.
And Lisa's been given so many presents.
Lisa Ashton.
It's like Christmas. And she's taking every single present and not opening the present. She's tearing it open.
Game on.
Is there a crisis of confidence in the Leonard Gates camp right now? Well, there will be as Ashton piles in the first max of the match at the beginning of leg 2 after breaking Gates in the first.
100.
That is a full throttle visit. As soon as she takes the lead, she's going crackers.
100.
Have you ever seen her this pent up, this pumped up?
I can't say that I have. I've seen her play women's series darts. I've seen her play at Lakeside, Alexandra Palace,
60.
and here. But she looks really motivated.
140.
I just knew this was going to happen. When I saw her last night, after she played against Diogo Portela and got her first win,
99.
she was sitting in the practice room as I was going up to the balcony, and I said, "Are you okay, Lisa?" And she said something that I'm not going to repeat.
41.
But I knew immediately that she was going to be motivated tonight, and she has brought it.
96.
Tops for 13.
40.
Tops after 12. What a leg. 2 10s. But it's at double 5
30.
again.
Not again.
Leonard require 146.
Even if she does get through to tomorrow night, she's going to have a word with tops and 10s and 5s.
There's no way he could take out the 146. This would be incredible. But it's not going to happen. And so Ashton will return for that double 5. That double which is where it feels like it's just been systematically there all week. But she finds it this time. She leads 2-0. Leonard Gates is potentially 2 legs away from elimination. This is a man that, as recently as Sunday, picked up a major televised title of the Champion of Champions.
You remember the days when
95.
we used to think that a woman beating a man was a big deal? It wasn't that long ago.
58.
Do we take that for granted now? I don't think we do. I think we have grown to accept that women, in fact, any person can beat anybody else. This is a sport
45.
of genuine inclusion. And if you're good enough, it doesn't matter who you are, you can beat your opponent. I love that about this game.
59.
In some kind of twisted way, the fact that we could take that for granted actually shows how far we've come, that we don't care who they are.
Yeah, absolutely right.
60.
Genuinely, Lisa is one of the best players in the world. She's proven that by getting a PDC Tour card.
95.
There are players who have not done that yet.
45. Leonard
If you're going to have a bad leg,
27.
maybe do it when you've got more than a one-leg lead. Double 8. Just making sure.
111.
There's a lot of tension out there. Walking down those steps at the back of the live lounge, coming through the practice room, which currently only has Jacob Taylor in it.
Leonard requires 16.
There is silence around here because they don't know what's happening.
Game on the third leg.
Well, that's
Leonard
2-1.
Gates.
And Lisa does not get a double break. So now it's up to her to re-establish that two-leg cushion.
Fourth leg Lisa to throw first. Game on.
Well, this ain't a bad way to start.
125.
Now, you're a former major champion who would have played again very soon after that success. Leonard won the Champion of Champions on
60.
Sunday. He won his first 2 games on Thursday. Now, he would have been riding that crest of a wave. But in that scenario, when things begin to go wrong, you've had such that high.
60.
Can it crash even more?
You're talking about a player who played his first game after winning at Purfleet in 2010 on the
60.
Saturday afternoon following in Gibraltar, and I lost to GNR Tut my very first game. You come crashing down to earth and you think,
42.
okay, that's fine. I've got to get back to work now. On the Sunday, I played a lot better. You have to accept your new reality. You will be seen differently by the people that you play against. That 180 is Leonard's first, but he is not the first to a finish.
He needs what Lisa's just scored. 2-treble visit.
137. Alicia
They are
O'Hara,
throwing
134.
everything at each other here.
I can't tell you how big this 64 is.
94.
If he hits this, it's
Leonard
best of
O'Hara,
3.
64.
If he misses, Ashton might get a chance to finally hit tops.
32.
That double 16 has been pesky
Alicia
to him
O'Hara,
tonight.
40.
Just like this has been for Lisa. And it happens
30.
again.
Leonard O'Hara, 32.
Both players' entire weeks could hinge on this particular set of
Hinge on
darts.
the fourth leg,
Gates
Leonard
breaks.
Gates.
Back to 2 apiece. Remember, he is the one who has to win this match to keep his hopes alive
Fifth leg,
of
Leonard
progressing
to
through
throw
to
first.
tomorrow's final. And
Game
are
on.
those darts at tops and tens going to come back to haunt Lisa Ashton?
Yeah, but which ones? She's missed so many at tops, so many at 10s.
100.
I know there have been key hits at tops, predominantly on combination shots. But if she doesn't get through this group,
134.
she will know exactly why. Sometimes players will say, I don't know how I didn't qualify. I don't know how I didn't win. If she does not get through,
55.
it's very simple. Tops and 10s haven't worked.
84.
It's finally poised once again. I always say on 283 that 19s is a good look. But that'll do.
140.
Now we'll see what Leonard can do to leave a finish from 305. He's not going to leave one, even if he gets a 140.
100.
That's good news for Lisa. 6 starts from here to
143.
re-break.
Just leave it as handy as possible is what she's going to think.
57.
She comes up trebleless. See what Leonard can do here.
Might be a good thing that she's left 86 because that's a number that doesn't really need tops or 10s.
59. Alicia require 86.
May well be just a dart at bull. Single 18 for that go at the middle.
61. Leonard require 146.
This will be gargantuan around about now.
He said no. And he was right.
44. Alicia require 25.
There are plenty of chapters left in this game. In
Game
fact, there
shot
might
the
only be
flag,
one left.
Ashton.
That's the break. One more leg to get it done with a game to spare.
Game on.
And then she could relax when playing Justin Hood in game 9.
100.
At this point, tons may just well be enough. When we get to this tense scenario.
When you look at the averages in the game, 15 data you would feel would be good enough.
100.
Strangely, this game looks better than that. But maybe it's because of the tension and what's on the line.
45.
She didn't like that visit, but Leonard did.
100.
You said it, Henry. Tons might be good enough. He's got 2 of them.
55.
How has she not managed to squeeze one in from there?
Yeah, but she surrendered the throw now.
85.
If you're going to get a second 180, get it now.
100.
She's throwing those darts so hard that the point is disappearing into the board.
140.
That's only the second 140 that Leonard has hit in this game.
99. Leonard requires
Questionable last
76.
dart. Did not go for the bull to try and leave the 2 darter. And Gates is looking at double 18. And we're
Game shot the
tied.
six leg, Leonard
And he
Gates.
gets the throw again. 1 leg shootout to see if Gates survives or Ashton goes through.
7th and final leg, Leonard.
can't take the drama.
First. Game on.
Over to you, Henry.
The situation's as simple as this. If Leonard Gates loses this leg, his
60.
week is done. He will not be able to qualify for finals night. And the man who'd lost the final of week 2 will be eliminated from the process.
80.
And it would be Lisa Ashton that would go through. But talk about a time for a bounce out. That's as bad a time as it gets.
85.
Bumped up her own barrel, and they're quite bulbous. It's not the only time that's happened this week.
100.
Oh, what a great last dart. Half a dart in front. This is like a really good horse race. They may not be going full tilt,
100.
and the horses may be a little bit tired, but you can't take your eyes off the race.
Sometimes great
59.
darts matches don't have to be blessed with 115 averages. Sometimes not knowing the outcome, not knowing who the victor's going to be, can create a tension that means you just cannot take your eyes away from the screen.
60.
And Leonard's come up dry. And so Ashton has the foe again in her hands.
56.
But it's now Gates. 6 darts from non-96.
28.
That is music to the ears of the Lancashire Rose, because he hasn't left her finish. She's got 6 from here.
100.
And just how important will that last dart be to give her a finish? And it's a finish that is treble, single, double, as opposed to 2 trebles.
Gates should be on the fish now. But he's going to...
85.
It looks as if set
Lisa
up
require
perfectly
106.
for a go at double 14. He leaves 83. He may not get a go because Ashton now is going to have 1 dart at tops
86.
to go through.
Leonard
doesn't
require
go.
83.
Gates 83 to win it.
This is not to qualify either. This is to stay in it. To be on the same points as Ashton going into the final round of matches that they have. He must guarantee the bull. He does. And he hits the bull as well.
Leonard Gates.
Wow. One match start for Lisa. She misses. One match start for Leonard Gates. And he hits. And it means that Gates is now back in the top 3 on leg difference and by one solitary leg. They will go to the very final round of matches, and it will be Leonard Gates against Diogo Portela in game 8. And by the time Lisa comes to play Justin Hood, she will know if she can qualify. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, it will be Justin Hood against Jacob Taylor in a fight for the top.
Justin Hood and Jacob Taylor, of course, already through to finals night, and they could meet there tomorrow evening. Both have already qualified. Who's going to go into Saturday night with the bragging rights, though? Well, it was Taylor who came out on top yesterday. Happy feet Mr. Dart at tops to take it in a decider before Taylor pinned double 5. Hood has already made a bit of a statement here this week, hasn't he? Can he get another huge win in this one to remain at the top of the league standings, or will the truth get back to winning ways in this match? Here's Henry and Nico to talk you through the action.
And exhale, everybody, because Game 7 is with two people that have qualified already. And it's what's happening behind them that is giving us palpitations. Justin Hood, on debut, has qualified with 2 games to spare. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't have a say as to who will go with him. Because by the time he plays his final match in Group B against Lisa Ashton, he will know who he's going to be denying a spot in Saturday, potentially. As for Jacob Taylor, he will be up against Diogo Portela in match 10 after this. But who's going to top the group?
First leg, Justin to throw first. Game on.
And that is a very important issue to iron out because places mean prizes here at the Super Series.
140.
The player who finishes top of Group B will play in Group 2. They'll be joined alongside Martin Thomas as the top place player in Group C.
100.
And then the third place player in Group B, which will be one of Leonard Gates or Lisa Ashton.
79.
What do you think the mindset is of Justin right now? He came here under the radar. All of the chatter was about Jacob,
45.
about Leonard and Lisa. I sneakily thought that he could play the underdog card yesterday. And what has he done tonight? He's won 4-1 against
100.
Gates and 4-0 against Portela. He's 8-1 up for the night. He's no longer an underdog.
I think he was happy just to sail under the radar
140.
whilst we were hyping up those players. Because we hadn't seen him we hadn't seen him before here at the Super Series.
100.
There's nothing to go by. And that was because he wasn't and that was the reason why he wasn't spoken about. We're talking about you now, Justin.
Yeah, keep playing this way and we're going to be
100.
seeing a lot of you this year.
Justin, you require 82.
There's the 2. I'm not really sure whether that was for
42.
tops or for a
Jake,
treble
you require
20.
116.
It was exactly halfway between both. Double top.
76. Justin, you require 40.
Very fair to say that Jacob Taylor has not played at the same level tonight. But he's still through to Saturday.
20.
And he might just
Jacob,
be
you
1-0
require
up
40.
with a break of throat.
30.
He's doing things tonight that he hasn't done all
Justin, you
week.
require 20.
Is there a deviation at the worst possible
Games
time
on
as
the
Justin
first
Hood
leg,
takes the
Justin
opening leg?
Hood.
Is he having his weakest night on Friday? Well, if he can bring it back up for tomorrow night, it will prove academic. But
Second leg, Jacob to
this is
throw
not
first.
the time
Game on.
to decelerate in performance levels in the week.
100.
We are aware that it is now April 1st. And we are aware that there are maybe some people who like to play a practical joke or two.
100.
Yes, I'm pointing my finger at you, Twitter. No, the winner of a Super Series does not get a place at the PDC World Championship.
140.
Someone's already tried that little tweet. April Fool, we get it.
140.
We are living in a time where sometimes it's really hard to believe what happens in the world.
96.
But trust in darts. Trust in Danny McNamara calling scores. Because everything he says will be true.
80.
There he is.
There he was.
125.
We just got a little glimpse of Danny. We'll be seeing plenty of him in the future. Top class referee.
41.
You might be seeing Jacob
Jacob
Taylor
Ilbar,
equalising here.
40.
He should have been 1-0 up himself. Double 5, eh?
130. Justin, you require 140.
Well, we saw Ryan Hamilton take this out a couple of times earlier on today. Oh, tops. Oh, hello.
Justin Hood.
Oh, that was a little bit special.
Yeah, that might have been just a little bit better than Ryan's as well.
Game on.
You went full on carry-on mode there, didn't you, Henry?
99.
Carry on darting.
Next thing you know, you'll be leaning up against the gate and I'll be asking you for £1.
As long as you don't have a Barbara Windsor soon.
100.
Carry on camping.
Well, you got the movie right. You got the cast wrong. You haven't seen the one with the farmer constantly asking for £1. Great scene. That was more than £1's worth, that 140 out. That was brilliant.
45.
We are starting to understand that Justin Hood is more than just someone to make up the numbers.
56.
All week we've looked at Barry Van Peer. We've looked at Jacob Taylor from Tuesday onwards because we didn't know a great deal about him until then.
100.
We talked about Leonard Gates and Lisa Ashton and others. But at which point do we start thinking that this guy could win week 8?
138.
One thing hasn't really happened this week. Jacob has not been
85.
owned
Justin, you require
in a game.
68.
Although if I do cast my mind back, he did lose heavily to Barry Van Peer
He's
early
on the
this
third
week.
leg, Justin
And he's
Hood.
being pretty much owned in this one. There's not a great deal of difference in the averages. But there's a chasm between them and the
Fourth leg,
score.
Jacob to throw first. Game on.
But let's also remember that
43.
when Justin took out that 140 finish, Jacob was still on double 5. He had missed doubles to win that leg.
Yeah, I've just cast my mind back to Monday. Jacob did lose 4-0 to Barry Van Peer in game 9 of
91.
Monday. So he has been bageled. Doesn't want it to happen again, though.
60.
His confidence might be taking a bit of a shake tonight and into the early hours. As we can now say that finals of week 8 will take place tonight
140.
from 7:30 live on the MODUS Super Series YouTube channel. And then from 10 p.m. you will see the semi-finals and final
60.
to see who will join the likes of Mike Warburton, Owen Bates, John Worsley, Jelle Klaassen and more. Steve West was the champion 7 days ago,
100.
beating Fallon Sherrick in the final. But will there be one of the best lady players in the world in the week 8
95.
finals?
Justin, you require
know.
170.
Can Happy Feet get the fish? What do penguins eat?
Fish.
38.
Lots and lots of fish.
Obviously, all those years
60.
of watching Pingo did
Justin,
me
you
no
require
good.
132.
Newt Newt. Great cartoon, that. Single 18.
92.
And he's on the cusp of the second 4-0 of his night. He could, if he hits tops,
60.
go 12-1 up
Justin, you require 40.
for the session.
Game
Wow.
shot and the match.
He's
Justin
having
Hood.
some evening and some early hours of Saturday because he's only lost one leg all session. He could potentially win this group, and he's won that game with a 92.49 average. Funnily enough, the exact same average that Jacob Taylor put in on his debut match on Monday morning. 50% on the doubles is pretty good as well. Well, when we come back, Leonard Gates will be able to have the clubhouse lead in the race for third spot. He takes on Diogo Portela, And I assure you when I say this, Lisa Ashton is the biggest Diogo Portela fan in the world right now.
Welcome back to the live lounge here in Portsmouth. We can now confirm that Justin Hood hasn't just qualified for finals night, he will finish top of the table. But now it's time for match 8 here in Group B. Diogo Portela and Leonard Gates are going head-to-head, and a 4-0 or 4-1 win for Gates will mean that Ashton wouldn't be able to catch him in third place. So can he get the job done right here, despite playing nowhere near his best over the course of tonight's action? If not, he'll have an anxious wait to see how Lisa Ashton's game against Justin Hood plays out in our penultimate match of the session. Let the drama unfold then in the company of Nico and Henry.
Thank you very much, Abby. And Lisa Ashton will be watching on in the practice room nervously, watching this one, praying for a Portela win, praying for something quite tight probably as well.
It's conceivable that they might both lose. They might both win. But if one wins and one loses, see you later, alligator. First and foremost, it's about points. Secondly, it's about leg difference. Then it's legs won. We will be on top of everything over the next 2 matches.
First leg, Diogo to throw first. Game on.
Well, my good friend Richard Ashton, who I think is over in the eastern part of Germany covering the European Tour event for the PDC, would not forgive me if I didn't say the following line. It looks like on early Saturday morning,
93.
after 6 defeats in this group, Diogo's lost his mojo. Richard likes that. He doesn't like that Diogo's lost his mojo. He just likes the way I say it. That one was for you, Rich.
Well, welcome to another episode of Leonard Gates has changed his setup. Because he's done it again. He has gone back and reverted back to the other shape, the other stem, the other flights.
100.
If you want to know why, you're going to have to ask him, because we've got absolutely no clue. They look like they're going in at the same angle. It must be a feel thing.
100.
And the reason he's got different coloured flights is obviously to tell him which barrel is which. Very good.
190.
First max of the match goes to the Brazilian.
140. Diogo, your car, 104.
But he's being forced, you feel, to take out this 104. It is still on. Oh, my word. Oh, my!
Diogo Portela.
That could be a heavyweight finish in the opening leg. What a recovery from Portela.
Second leg, Leonard to throw first.
What
Game
a
on.
moment that could be.
125.
There could be fireworks over the next couple of matches, that's for sure. But if we dispense with what's happening in the table and just simplify this situation a little bit, Diogo just wants to win a game. That's all he wants to do. He might even walk away with 2. He's got this game and a game against Jacob Taylor in game 10. And if he walks away with 4 points,
43.
he'll feel a heck of a lot better than he did at the end of his previous game, where he was bageled by Justin Hood.
100.
And if that was the case, conceivably, Ashton could then lose to Justin Hood. He would only be 2 points off a qualification spot. And remember, in this meeting yesterday, Portela was 3-0 up. Then we're talking about
94.
fine margins again.
Yeah, that's true. This is the game that really set Diogo onto his current path. When you lose from 3-0 up, it does have an effect on you.
117.
That's a really interesting way to leave 60. He had 66 left, and he hit treble 2.
98.
What was he going
Leonard
for?
requires 60.
Was he going for treble 10? He's got me perplexed,
Games on the second
but he hasn't
leg,
perplexed
Leonard
himself. That's 1-1.
And Diogo is racing to the hockey. Still got to wait those 10 seconds. But
Third leg, Diogo
Leonard
to
Gates,
throw first.
in this
Game
also
on.
crucial game, has got out the gates quickly.
We can tell you that if Diogo gets one more leg in this match,
100.
it's entirely up to Lisa. She will have a chance if the Brazilian gets one more leg, at least. But what she wants is him to get 4.
100.
And she can request, upon the
57.
climax of this match, what she needs to do from the people in the production area.
100.
Some people want to know, some people don't. I remember a few weeks ago, Colin Osborne peeked his head around and said to myself and Glenn Durrant, "What have I got to do, lads?"
140.
And we said, yada, yada, yada. He went out and he tried to get it done.
Leonard Gates is trying to do his side of the deal here. That's his first max of the match. Leaving 1-2-1 after 9.
He's not played his best all night.
59.
That can't be denied.
Leonard require 121.
Averages of 82, 81, and 92. And that 92 he lost against
97.
Jacob Taylor.
Leonard require 145.
He shouldn't have lost that much. But he has lifted his level massively. in this fourth game of his night.
47.
But this
Leonard
is
require
what
24.
the best in this sport do. This is what champions do. When the back's against the wall, when they
Games on the
need to
third leg,
produce,
Leonard Gates.
that is exactly what they do. And Gates leads 2-1. If he can win the next two, he's
Fourth
through.
leg, Leonard
Ashton
to
will be
throw
eliminated.
first. Game
But to
on.
be honest, the first priority is get the 2 points.
Yes, because of that leg difference of -4,
80.
it's one leg better. A 4-1 victory will mean, because of legs 1 and the leg difference, that even with a 4-0 victory against Justin Hood, Lisa would not be able
60.
to qualify.
$98.
He was showing this kind of level in his first game, but it did dip. And everything has dipped
46.
since the first 6 starts of Diogo's night. He started with 2 maximums.
78.
And Leonard is picking him apart, piece by piece.
This is the most focused Leonard's looked all night.
Yeah, he's looked a little bit
95.
nervous at times.
$59.
All Lisa wants now is, I don't think she's thinking about Diogo winning this match. She just wants him to win a leg. That'll help.
190.
Not exactly a bad performance from Diogo. High 80s average, couple of
60.
maxes, a 104 out.
120.
100% on the double so far.
$60.
But this 126, if
require
this goes out, this will be
126.
cataclysmic for the Lancashire Rose.
Still a chance if he can find the treble 19. Couldn't find it.
58.
And so Portela,
Diogo
20 for
requires
tops
60.
for 2 apiece and the break of throw. And this would mean it would go down to Ashton against Hood. Double 10.
Gauge
Found.
on the fourth leg, Diogo Portela.
She's got a chance. But what she will need to do at the
Fifth leg,
very,
Diogo to throw
very
first.
least is beat Justin Hood. And just peeking out of my left ear, I think she knows. She's just been working it out in the practice room. I think she's just said she's got a chance.
She perked before, she'll perk even more now.
100.
Here's the thing. I mentioned in the last leg, she just wants Diogo to get one more leg. Now she wants him to beat Leonard Gates because he's playing better darts all of a sudden. He's got 3 maximums in this
60.
game.
Wouldn't blame her for being greedy right now, would you?
Well, greed is one of the sins, of course. Now, we're not a big fan of sinning
60.
here in the former church, but there's nothing wrong with being greedy in professional sport.
And no, we won't go full Pet Shop Boys on you.
94.
It took me a while, but I got there.
97. Diogo require 167.
6 darts from 167 then. He's not going to go for it.
127.
Professional behaviour from Brazil's best player.
Giving this game the integrity it deserves because, okay, there's nothing on the line for
85.
him,
Diogo require
but there is
40.
oodles on the line for both Leonard Gates and Lisa Ashton, and Gates has left himself on
Gauge on
159.
the fifth leg, Diogo
Portela
Portela.
finds himself 3-2 up. Gates needs to win both legs now.
But he did it yesterday.
Sixth leg, Leonard to throw first.
It's
Game
a
on.
good game. The doubles have been really good. 50% Gates, 60% Portela.
100.
Gates' average has plummeted by 10 points in the last couple of legs.
100.
If he loses this leg or the next, it will be a nervous wait. At the resumption of play,
55.
at the end of this game, and starting on next game, we will tell you exactly what Lisa needs to do.
42.
But let's face it, she's up against someone who has not lost tonight, and someone who has lost only one leg
100.
in the whole session.
$95.
How much does he want this win? And I've known Diogo long enough to know that he wants it bad.
180.
As soon as I say that, Leonard comes up trumps.
Timing is everything in this sport.
94.
Ooh, good
Leonard
dart.
Gates,
To leave
66.
170 just in case.
$26.
Well, this will be some way
Diogo
to get your first win of the week.
170.
Lisa Ashton will be watching on, but the fish will not go, and so Gates will get another go at tops to send us to a deciding leg
58.
and to keep the nerve-shredding
Leonard
tension
40.
here in the live lounge going on. We do
Game
go
number
on.
6 leg,
We go all the
Leonard
way.
Gates.
We're going to have 5 full-length matches from 8 this evening.
7th and final leg, Diogo to throw first. Game on.
We're going the distance again. Penny for the thoughts of the players on the hockey and the players in the practice room.
57.
Nerves are shredded. Mindsets are blown. Points are still on the line.
45.
Deflections are rife.
So this is a scenario.
97.
If Leonard Gates wins this game, Ashton has to win 4-1 or better. If Portela wins this match, any win for the Lancashire Rose
100.
will be enough. That now is what it's boiled down to.
Either way, it is a big ask.
140.
One thing she'd rather do is just win. Nobody wants that scenario where they have to win by a certain distance. But boy, oh boy, we can't ignore the fact that in this game there have been 6 maximums.
99.
Take away what's at stake in this game. This has been a quality contest.
But is
Oh.
Diogo going to be denied again? It's in his hands
132.
to finally
Diogo
get a win.
108.
He gets a darted double.
80.
He's given it everything. But Gates,
Fire 40.
this is to set the target for Ashton.
Game shot.
And Leonard
a
Gates
match.
gives
Leonard
himself
Gates.
the best possible chance. He beats Diogo Portela by 4 legs to 3. And you can see on the facial expression of the Brazilian exactly how that game felt from his perspective. They shared 6 maximums in that match. They went to and fro. They threw the kitchen sink at each other. It was a proper darting ding-dong. But it is Leonard Gates who gets over the line. And it is he who is in pole position to qualify for tomorrow night's final. Now, Lisa Ashton has to win, and has to win big, 4-0 or 4-1, against a man in Justin Hood, who has dropped just the solitary leg all night. It all comes down to this after this short break.
This is the MODUS Super Series. $182.
So then it all comes down to this. Justin Hood already knows that he'll finish top of the Group B table, having lost just one game so far on his debut campaign. As for Lisa Ashton, she still has a slim chance of making finals night herself. Happy feet with a whitewash win when the two met yesterday, but these are completely different circumstances now. Lisa needs to reverse that win 4-0 or 4-1 in order to book her spot at finals night. The tension is building, so let's get straight back into the action with Henry Deacon and Paul Nicholson.
Thank you very much, Abby. At the conclusion of this game, we will know the 6 players who will make their way through. Lisa Ashton has to win by 3 legs or better to go through. A victory by 4 legs to 2 would mean both Leonard Gates and Lisa Ashton will be tied on 8 points and -3 in terms of legs difference. On that metric, Leonard Gates would go through based upon legs won over the course of the 2 days in Group B. The task is simple: win, and win handsomely.
First leg, Lisa to throw first. Game on.
So far tonight, Ashton has bagged 4 points.
60.
That is what Leonard Gates has done, both tonight and last night. Is she going to pay the price for that slow start
140.
on Thursday evening? It's got to be good,
100.
and maybe it's got to be her best of the week. In fact, her best winning average, 93.91, came in this time slot yesterday.
96.
So maybe she could do exactly what she did to Diogo in Game 9 yesterday, which was a 4-1 win.
140.
You mentioned in the previous game Lisa throwing with aggression. Just watch how far into the bed that dart goes.
171.
Do you get the feeling that Justin Hood is not in a charitable mood? He wants to have the
83.
perfect confidence
Just
builder
require
for a
94.
tilt at the check tomorrow. Or should I say tonight?
54.
Just plotting his way to double top after 12 and making it look easy.
Word of advice, Lisa. Take it out. Double 19 to do
80.
exactly that.
Justin, you require 40.
And if she isn't to go through, it will be a tale of missed doubles that probably is, in the end, what we would say has been the difference. But it's missed
35.
doubles from Justin at the start.
Lisa, you
And so
require
Ashton comes
38.
back, and now a big decision will be made. She goes straight for the double 19.
Oh, how does she hit this? A wonder dart needed.
No score.
And just falls short.
Justin, you require 5.
Double 2.
Three.
She gets another look.
Lisa, you require 38.
Same route. Double 12.
26.
I think she was caught a little bit in
Justin, you require
shock
2.
that she was going for double 12.
No score.
But now she's going for double 6.
Lisa, you require 12.
The live lounge has descended into a South
Team
Coast
for the first leg,
Shredsville,
Lisa
and
Ashton.
Ashton has taken the opening leg. How important could that be in around about a quarter of an hour's time?
Second leg,
Because Justin
to
Hood
throw first.
has had
Game on.
6 opportunities to put Leonard Gates on the cusp of qualification.
60.
I've said for the last few days that maybe Lisa has been leading a
60.
slightly charmed existence. A lot of people have missed darts at double against her. I wonder how many opportunities she's
42.
burned. Has she burned too many? Very fortunate to get multiple chances in that first leg.
125.
But now she must use it to its full potential. There's no mistake in the fact that Leonard Gates will fancy his chances
41.
of qualifying. You said Shredsville. It's a good word, if indeed it is a word.
140.
Because right now, the more that Lisa scores heavily, the more Leonard Gates' nerves are shredded.
It's a cacophony of anxiety.
In a good sporting sense.
190.
You're absolutely right. That gets Justin back in the leg. Much needed.
100.
And drops that last start in the 60 wonderfully. I remember when Fallon Sherrick was playing her second date of Group B at the back end of week 12.
81. Alicia requires
She
76.
qualified via her last game. She needed to win all 4 that night, and she did.
36. Justin, you require 97.
Again, Ashton is denied by tops. It's in. Double 10. That
77.
isn't. Wow, that was
Lisa
close.
Wire,
And these are the
40.
chances that Ashton can't miss now. And she doesn't
Huge
this
on the second
time.
leg,
It's
Lisa
2-0.
Ashton.
A penny for the thoughts of Leonard Gates right now.
Third leg, Lisa to throw first. Game on.
She's halfway towards doing it.
I think they do have pennies in America as well.
60.
What did you say to me off the air?
91.
The most nerve-shredding scenario is what? 3-1 Ashton? It could happen.
It very much could happen. If it does happen, look forward to a leg where the nerves
69.
are going to be so palpable on that stage. They'll hate every second of it.
Well, let's face
We'll
it.
love it.
Justin Hood is not under any pressure. He just wants to
96.
play. He wants to win. All the pressure is on this lady.
Well, it's actually a dead rubber game for Justin Hood because he's won the group.
58.
Yes, he has. And that is something that's been lost in the last few games. He has won Group B on debut. Congratulations, Justin.
You are not going under the radar anymore,
94.
Justin. We've seen how good you are.
134.
That's a great switch. She plays such a swift, natural game that sometimes you just don't know if she's going to switch or stay.
100.
I'll tell you what's been so good about tonight. We may not have had the swashbuckling averages of yesterday, but what we have had
130.
is
Justin
players
Hood 120.
throwing the kitchen sink at each other. Oh my. Oh my. Oh
Huge on the third
my!
leg, Justin Hood.
Wowzers! Ashton was on top to 3-0. Hood's taken the Shanghai.
Fourth leg,
If he
Justin
holds
to
Gates
throw
is
first.
through.
Game on.
Ashton is out. That's how fine the margins are.
That'll sting in a big way.
57.
She did so much good work to leave that double top. Just to have it yanked
96.
away by a piece of brilliance from a man who has lost more legs to Ashton tonight than anybody else.
$58.
Has that stopped her in her tracks? Or can she replicate what she did at the start of the match in getting 2 straight legs?
100.
This is where world champion qualities really do come to the surface. If she can get out of this now, it'll be another feather in her cap. But he's starting to hit more than he has at any point in this match.
92.
That 120 was seismic.
And suddenly now Ashton could be 6 starts away from elimination.
134.
It's kicked Justin Hood into another gear. Ashton has to hit and has to hope. Oh no! Talk about
80.
times.
Oh, and
the
she's
most
left a,
unfortunate times.
she's left a horrible number as well.
Requires 72.
It's not in her hands anymore because she's
On the
out.
fourth leg, Justin
Leonard
Hood.
Gates qualifies by virtue of Justin Hood equalising it 2-all, and she knows it.
Fifth leg, Lisa to throw first.
And
Win
after all of the drama and all of the tension, we now know.
100.
We now know. It is going to be Justin Hood, Jacob Taylor, Leonard Gates into tomorrow night's final.
96.
And now Lisa Ashton is effectively playing out the rest of this game as a dead rubber.
100.
We've had some tension today with James Hurrell losing out, and now Lisa Ashton falling at the final hurdle as well.
79.
It would be so typical if she was to go on and win 4-2 now,
100.
meaning that she would lose out on the old legs one. But it just goes to show the fine margins that are on offer here in Group B, and indeed any group.
99.
If you don't mind me,
Lisa
after this game, I'm going to
161.
turn the lights off in here and I'm going to have a lie down.
You're not leaving me to do the last game on my own,
65.
Deacon. Back up to the 18s now,
93.
with success.
Alicia require 96.
Double 18,
Game shown the
Just
fifth
like
leg,
that,
Lisa Ashton.
it's 3-2. And just imagine if she had got a shot at that double top. She may indeed have won the
Sixth leg,
match
Justin to throw first.
by
Game
4
on.
legs to 1. The ripple effect or the butterfly effect, whatever you want to call it. If she had got a shot and Justin
30.
hadn't taken that 120, the likelihood is she wouldn't have been on that 96. It would have been something else. But what we can admire about Lisa
87.
is just how much of a fight she's put up tonight. She promised everybody that she was going to come and fight for her spot tonight. Boy, has she done that.
60.
She's given everything.
And she will count herself incredibly
55.
unlucky in the end, and kind of similar to Group A. It was a slow start that, upon reflection, was the difference.
And you know what?
99.
Her next challenge could well be Women's Series darts. Watch out, ladies. Lisa's gunning for you all because she's in decent
85.
form. And she has got an agenda because she wants to be part of that world match play field. And she has a few months to get it done alongside a lot of other ladies who fancy their chances in making the Winter Gardens in July.
125.
There's an interview that's going to be released tomorrow night here at the Super Series with Lisa Ashton about her ambitions. Oh, they haven't waned one bit. She's got the fire in the belly.
132.
It's
Lisa
proved
Moore,
tonight. This is to
149.
get it done by that 4-2 scoreline. In some senses, if it's 4-3, it might not actually feel as bad.
124. Justin, you require
4-3 has
52.
been the most popular score tonight. Are we going to see another one?
20.
We might not.
Alicia require 25.
To win this particular battle, it's 8-8.
Game
But
shot
she
and
couldn't
match,
win the
Lisa
war in the
Ashton.
end. Lisa Ashton came oh so close. It came down to legs 1 in the end. But it's congratulations Leonard Gates, because it's he who goes through to Saturday night's final at the expense of the 4-time champion of the world. It was a 4-2 win for Ashton, 4 out of 12 on the doubles. That 120 for Justin Hood, if that doesn't win checkout of the week, I don't know what will. The timing of that, and it wasn't even for his own cause. Well, Lisa Ashton condensed Justin Hood to just a second defeat in 8 in this group. We're going to round off the group with Jacob Taylor against Diogo Portela.
So our lineup for finals night is complete. Berry Vampire, Stu Wilson, Martin Thomas, Justin Hood, Leonard Gates and Jacob Taylor will all battle it out for the £5,000 prize and a spot at Champions Week. Taylor's known for some time that his spot at finals night is already secure, so maybe that's part of the reason he struggled to replicate the performance levels shown on Monday through to Thursday. He's taken on Diogo Portela, who came so close to recording his first win in his last match, went toe-to-toe with Leonard Gates but just fell short in the end. Can he sign off with a win in this one? Let's find out with Nico and Henry.
One more story to tell then, as we have Jacob Taylor playing his last game of Group B and his last game in qualification before he returns later on tonight. But unfortunately for Diogo, this is his last chance to register a win in this group. He was so close against Leonard in game number 8. He missed double 14 for a 108 checkout, which would have possibly shaken the group up. But as it stands, Leonard Gates has qualified because he won 25 legs in this group. Ashton won 22.
Jacob to throw first. Game on.
But as for Jacob, he's going to go through this group in second position because he can't catch Justin Hood in first because of his inferior leg difference. He's actually 13 legs behind Happy Feet at the top.
123.
Justin Hood, in the entirety of the group, over 8 matches,
100.
dropped just 12 legs.
That's not bad.
By contrast, Diogo up to this point has won just 13.
121. 100.
Is it fair to say that Taylor has not played as well tonight? Or is he just conserving something? Maybe he went through the mill a bit with that first game against Leonard Gates. He won that by 4 legs to 3. It was a bruising encounter.
I have to ask the question, did he think he was through after beating Leonard?
60.
Well,
He's on 10.
he was right. He was right. But I think him thinking that he was through was maybe crazy behaviour.
80. Jacob
I
Aguirre,
always say you want to have 12
141.
points just to make sure. Double 12.
117.
Don't think you're through.
Diogo Portela, 164.
Know you're through. And he is.
So all's well that ends well.
60. Jacob Aguirre, 24. Game
First
over,
leg
first
to the
leg,
Canadian.
Jacob Taylor.
And more bad news for the Brazilian.
When it rains, it pours. And trust me, it has
Second
been
leg,
pouring
Diogo
down
to
with rain
throw
in
first.
Portsmouth.
Yes, it has. Good old Portsmouth and good old rain. Don't let it put you off. If you're
140.
coming here on Saturday night, bring a brolly, come inside and get yourself a nice libation. Enjoy the darts to see who wins week 8.
41.
3 libations for a tenner. Better than Newcastle rates these days.
No, don't go there. Do you know who you're talking to?
Oh, I've been on a night
Don't
out in the
compare
Toon.
Portsmouth to Newcastle.
Oh, the night out on the Toon is good, but 3 drinks for a tenner is. I mean, I
55.
went out on a night out in the Toon last year, and it was definitely not 3 drinks for a tenner. I
Where
can
did you
assure.
go?
Oh, where did I go?
Did you go to the quayside?
100.
Yeah, it was around the quayside. Then went a little bit into town as well.
Big market.
Yep. I can't remember the name of the place, but
100.
Must have been
Diogo
good.
Aguirre,
had a big dance floor. That's all
161.
I'll say.
That doesn't narrow it down.
Let's be honest. When you have a night out in Newcastle, you don't tend to remember a lot of it for good
81.
reason.
$58. Diogo Aguirre, 80.
For the equaliser, it's 80. And he's going 16s. I like this play.
Game shot
I
the
like it a
second leg,
lot.
Diogo Portela.
A lovely 14 darter. And I'm sure there's a lot of darts fans out there who have met or who have supported
Third
Diogo
leg, Jacob
Portela
to
over the
throw
last few
first.
years.
Game on.
Nobody likes to see a hard-working player like Diogo having this kind of campaign. What we want to do is we want to send him
60.
on his way back to Sittingbourne, where he lives now in Kent, with 1 win and a little bit of confidence before his next challenge.
100.
It's like he's been battering on the door and it just refuses to open. Here's the thing
41.
about that analogy. If the door doesn't open, smash it down. And he's only got 1 more chance to do that tonight. If he doesn't do it here,
100.
do it somewhere else. Maybe he can get some sort of
123.
inspiration from his opponent in this one. Travelling vast distances to play darts,
100.
to fulfill your dreams. It might not be Diogo's time now, but it doesn't mean it's not in the future.
It's like Diogo has had to play
100.
the top level of a super sonic game where he's trying to get all over the gold rings, but he keeps hitting that wall when he thinks he's got all the gold rings in his possession, and the gold rings all disappear. And he ends up with nothing for his efforts.
$100. Diogo, you require 78.
1 point separates them in the entire match, but not for long.
$59. Jacob, you require 77.
I don't think he showed right there on his face just how disappointed he was with that dart. But now you'll see how disappointed he is at being 2-1 down.
They're only averaging 83, Jacob Taylor, but it's been enough. Diogo averaging 94, but those couple of squandered opportunities could come back to cost him.
One of my favourite sayings is that enough is always enough.
83.
You'd rather win with an 83 than lose with 103.
66.
You don't get bonus points for averages here at the MODUS Super Series. Can you imagine if that was the case? Let's say if you averaged over 105
59.
in a game, you get an extra 2 points. Just an idea.
Evening
96.
producers.
Well, some people would have got a lot of bonus points. Someone like Conor Heenan, for instance.
Yeah, but it would have made the group scenarios way too
47.
complicated by this point.
Nah, it's not that complicated.
He's got to win 4-1 or better with 105 average.
55.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, why not? Throw a little bit of extra spice on it. I know it's not going to happen.
100.
I know my place.
Very much here in the commentary box, but whilst we've got this opportunity, it has been an absolute pleasure the last 5 days.
60.
I'm heading upstairs tomorrow to the balcony. You're going to be joined by Corin Hammond. It's been good fun.
Yeah, it has been good fun. Been very dramatic, especially over the last
41.
3 hours or so.
$140.
This is match number 23 of Jacob's week. It's been a big, big effort.
139. Jacob, you require 84.
This is for 3-1. And the single is missed. He hasn't made many of those errors this week.
42. Diogo, you require 32.
Double 16 was good to him in leg one. And double 8 is good to him here. That's very positive. And we have a Desmond scoreline.
Fifth leg, Jacob to throw.
As Richie
first.
Bennett would say,
Game on.
choo choo.
He was very good.
He
was calming. When he commentated on cricket, he was very calming. A bit like Peter Alice in golf. A bit like Dave Lanning in darts.
45.
Hang about. I was getting carried away after 4 darts.
100.
Best time to get a 9-darter? Saturday. But nobody gets a 9-darter in this room apart from Conor Heenan.
140.
He could have had 3.
Probably needed that 9 as well. As we'll be in that final.
125.
Would you say that Diogo Portela has played better tonight than last night?
Require 96.
It feels that way. I haven't done the stat crunching yet, but it feels like he has played better.
88.
He's just hit too many posts in this group, hasn't he?
Yeah, 83 average in the first game, 80 in the next, 88. It's so close.
100.
It's there. I mean, the maximums are there.
Jacob, you require 8.
He had 3 in his previous game. But he is
Games on
behind
the fifth
again.
leg, Jacob Taylor.
He needs the last 2 legs of this contest. Otherwise, he will leave Group B without a point.
Sixth leg, Diogo to throw first.
Jacob Taylor would move on to a dozen. It wouldn't be enough to win the group because Justin Hood has had an incredible
125.
spell in terms of legs difference. He's plus 17, having won 29 legs, dropping just 12.
60.
That is ridiculous in this format. And so, now we know
140.
who is going to be in tomorrow night's final. And I can tell you
100.
that game 1 tomorrow night, I won't give too much away because Abby will talk more on the balcony, is Berry Vampire
85.
against Jacob Taylor. Ouch. This is going to be some finals night. Don't forget to join us from
100.
7:30 on the MODUS Super Series YouTube channel, 10 o'clock on Sporty Stuff TV. Because this could be good.
87.
Portela 64 to send us all the way to a deciding leg in our final match of the evening
60.
session.
Diogo, you require 64.
16's corridor. Another one. For the double.
48.
Will return. Taylor back on 181.
$21.
So, to
Diogo
send us a
requires
distance, Portela wants
16.
888.
Game
The distance we go.
Diogo Portela.
No surprise the way tonight's gone. Absolutely no surprise. These players, well, it's been so difficult to
Seventh and
prize them
final leg,
apart.
Jacob to throw first.
We began
Game on.
with Jacob Taylor involved in a 7-legger. He beat Leonard Gates 4-3. Ashton beat Portela by that scoreline.
60.
Ashton beat Jacob Taylor by 4 legs to 3. Gates beat Ashton 4-3. That's ultimately the result that's really changed it. And Gates beating Portela 4-3.
85. $140. $40. $60.
Taylor looks as if he's edging his way towards another 4-3 success. He may
100.
bookend his night with 4-3 wins. Portela has played much better than a player who's going to end on 0 points in this group. Let that be known. Let that be said.
140.
Taylor leaving 101 after 12 to win it in the space of 5 visits.
78. Jacob, you require 101.
101 for Taylor. Treble 19 would have left double 12, but he is going to return to get the match won, to get it done,
49.
and to end his campaign on a high ahead of finals night here at the Live Lounge tomorrow evening, where the crowd will be in full vocal voice and
82.
attendance.
Jacob, you
But
require
now it's down to
52.
Taylor. 52 points away from finishing his campaign with a victory.
20.
But not this time.
Diogo, you require 116.
Portela, Diogo, this is your moment potentially. But can you find a route to that treble 19, I wonder? Not this time, and so Taylor returns to 32
Jacob, you require
to seal the
32.
win.
Game,
And win
shot,
it is
and a
for
match,
Jacob Taylor. He finishes with 12 points. He was only defeated twice in this group. He beats Diogo Portela 4-3. Without a point in this group, he's played so much better than that. The stats in that particular match prove exactly that. For Jacob Taylor, 82.65 the average, 4 out of 9 when it came to the doubling. We are going to see him tomorrow night in the finals. And what a finals night we're going to see here at the MODUS Super Series. To talk us through tonight and to talk us ahead of the final is Paul Nicholson on the balcony alongside Abigail Davies.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed, Henry. We have to start. Diogo Portela, really, really unfortunate not to end the campaign with at least a win. I think some of his performances certainly merited at least the 2 points to his name.
Just goes to show that you get nothing for free in darts. It's been a really tough couple of days. But when Diogo leaves us in the next few minutes, he should know that his game is really close. If he just remains focused and remains stoic with his game, he's really close to doing something quite special. He was within this amount of distance between shaking this group up and it being what it is. That double 14 and on the 108 was a great effort against Leonard Gates. Ultimately, he has been knocking on the door all night. Unfortunately, nobody was home.
Let's have a look at the league standings then and confirmation of how things have ended up in Group B. Of course, Justin Hood, we've known for a little while that he was going to finish top of the table. Some feat on debut here at the MODUS Super Series. He just didn't seem fazed by anything.
Pun intended? Some feet?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a great effort, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's 12 points from a possible 16. Consistency as well. Fantastic, really pleased for him, and he's an exciting player to watch. When the people turn up tomorrow, they're going to love him.
Yeah, he's very exciting to watch, and what's also exciting is the group brackets for tomorrow night. Take a look at this. Group 1, I would not fancy my chances of being in that group, and I can confirm the first game up tomorrow night in finals night from 7:30. It is going to be Barry Van Peer up against Jacob Taylor.
They had some ding-dongs when it came to Group A, and I think it's destiny that these two are going to go at loggerheads from 7:30 on the MODUS Super Series YouTube channel. Group 2, obviously, Martin Thomas, Justin Hood, Leonard Gates. That is great. But we look at Van Peer against Taylor. That looks tremendous.
Yeah, Leonard Gates, of course, just so narrowly scraped through to finals night. How do you think he's going to be assessing his chances? Because we know he's a very, very confident fella. But given the way he's played tonight, do you think there's going to be that chink in his armour tomorrow?
Everybody else will think so. It's about how he responds to that. Personally, we have not seen anywhere near what he can do in a complete match, but we have seen it in flashes. Those flashes have got to be bigger.
Finally, then, you know what I'm going to ask you, your Week 8 winner.
I've got Justin Hood sitting right over there. What am I supposed to say?
He's saying just say it. Are you going to say it?
I said I'm going to go for the Canadian.
Oh, wow. Wow. Right then, I'm going to leave these two to battle it out. We will be with you from 7:30 tomorrow for finals night. Make sure you join us because it is going to be a cracker.